Thank God there's not that stupid video. My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jacob and I are going to break down the entire UFC 280 Oliveira versus Makhachev fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our fantasy plays for every single fight. But before we jump in, head on over to WeWantPicks.com and become a premium member. It is only $10 a month, and you get access to all of our bets, all of our picks, all of our fantasy information, and even a DraftKings optimizer, which will literally build lineups for you. All of that is available to you for only $10 a month. That's $2.50 a week. And when we're talking about monster cards like this, where there's some real opportunities to make money, Jacob and I, between the two of us, I think have 15 bets going on right now. So become a premium member for $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. And anybody who wants $50 for free, all you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit, and we'll send you $50. It's just that simple. WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit, I'll send you $50. So Jacob, we're going to break down these fights as we always do, but we're going to do it a little easier, a little faster. We're going to get to the point, and we're going to start just going at it. So right out of the gate, we've got Karol Rosa taking on Lina Lansberg. Karol Rosa's 15-4 overall. She's 4-0-1 in her last 5. She is coming off her first UFC loss. That's Jacob.
Sorry.
She's taking on Lina Lansberg, who's 10-6 overall, 2-3 in her last 5. She is riding a 2-fight skid. This is actually a tricky fight, right? I think Karol Rosa is going to win this fight, but Lina Lansberg is a Muay Thai national champion. And if you play that game, and you get in the clinch with her, you could have a long night. So I think Karol Rosa wins.
I think that was in the 80s.
She's a little older than both of us, so it was not recent. It was not recent.
How you throw that in. Both of us, by the way.
It was not recent, but I do think Karol Rosa wins, but there's definitely a world where Lina Lansberg wins. And to prove that point, Lina Lansberg is such a good striker that when she fought Cyborg took her down. Didn't even strike with her, just took her down.
Wow. And
the other side of that, Lina Lansberg just lost to Panty Khanzad in a striking match, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was
going to say that's a great breakdown because Karol Rosa literally is better everywhere, and I love that this fight is starting the card because that gives everyone an opportunity. It's an early start. It's an early start Saturday, right? Everyone's got to set their alarms. This fight with the prelim or with the intros and everything should be about a half an hour. So you are now able to set your alarms a half an hour later than you were going to because you can completely miss this fight and get right to the next one and the rest of the prelim. So set your alarms 15 or half an hour later than you would, and you'll be good to go, ready for 280, well rested.
I will say, so we're both on the Karol Rosa side. Here's the stats if you guys want to pause or look at them or whatever. Some people care very deeply about the stats. It is tricky, though, because Karol Rosa, Sarah McMahon just worked her. Just absolutely worked her. And Lina Lansberg's not a grappler, but, we've seen less surprising things. We've seen people come out here and be like, okay, well, that's how you beat that person.
Well, she's not a grappler, but she is I would say she's a controller. I mean, she holds on to girls and just keeps them there in that Muay Thai clinch and stuff. So, I mean, that's almost grappling in its own right. As long as you're controlling someone, it really doesn't matter if they're on their back or against the fence. Control is control. I mean, it all counts the same.
And it literally does with DraftKings, right? They will score you holding somebody against the cage as control time. Is there a world where you spend $9,200 on Karol Rosa and DraftKings?
No. You know what's surprising, too? I was looking at the Tapology and who people are picking. The only other more confident pick on this card than Karol Rosa is Mokaev over Malcolm Gordon at 97%, 97%, and Karol Rosa is at 93%, the second most confident pick on the card.
That's insane.
I get it, I guess. But
I don't. I get, obviously, we're both picking her to win. And first of all, if the collective people, 97% of them think that she wins. I guess that's what that's saying. That's 93. Saying 97% of people think she wins. That 93. Doesn't mean whatever. 93% of people think she wins. Not that people think she wins this fight 93% of the time.
No, yeah, that's exactly right. But
Yeah,
still,
so I guess that is.
I mean,
it's
this
like
is
a Rotten
women's
Tomatoes
MMA
score.
match. I know, but this is a women's MMA match that can go to the judges, and we all know judges are idiots. I almost dropped a hard F word right there, but I realized it's just live. We
gotta tone back the cursing.
No,
not we, you. Yeah, so I think Karol Rosa wins -333. I think that's super wide. I think she should be a 2-1. Lina's last performance was not great, but she has worlds of combat experience. She is older, but she's tough. She's not somebody you just put away. The time she's been finished, she was taken down. It was on the ground. So we're both on the same side here. Are you spending $9,200 on Karol Rosa in DraftKings?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to have her just ruin my absolute perfect lineup with her 30-point performance. No, she's not in my lineup.
Yeah, no. There's 13 fights to pick from, 26 fighters.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny? Speaking of DraftKings, real quick, I don't know if Mr. Savage level 9,000 is in here. He's usually in here on the live streams. I joined a random league, and the first person underneath my name is his name. I don't know if you can see
That's
it, but
funny.
I was like, holy shit, I know that name. So don't take our advice and then beat me with our advice. I'd be very upset about that.
Monkey Knife Fight, 115 strikes to 65. I'm not touching that either. If you guys want to give Monkey Knife Fight a try with the strike lines, go for it. I'm not touching that. 115 to 65, like that's a wild gap. And all it's going to take is Lina Lansberg to get a few clinches going, and that's not going to be so wide anymore. What do you think?
I mean, that Sarah McMahon fight was like a little bit wild, and she landed 92. So I'm looking at this one. I think it's a less. I think they're just holding on to each other for 15 minutes. So if anything, I think it's a less.
I mean, it is still a women's MMA fight with
but Lina,
mostly strikers.
Lina doesn't even want to. She doesn't want to strike though. She literally just wants to hold people. Just hold people. The elbow queen. Oh, the elbow queen.
Is that her nickname?
Yeah, it's their nickname. It's really hard not to cuss right now. I'll tell you. I don't know.
All right, well. We're both on the Karol Rosa side, but neither one of us are going to do anything with that information other than watch the fight and move on with our lives.
Yeah, don't bet it. You know what's funny is people immediately were like, you said don't bet on women's MMA, and then you put a woman in a 10-unit parlay. I was like, well, yeah, you got me there.
Yeah, but in fairness, it's called the spite parlay.
The hate parlay.
The hate parlay. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute when we get to it.
Extreme.
Next up, at UFC 280, we have Makhachev taking on Malcolm Gordon. Makhachev only 7-0 in his career so far, 4-0-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight UFC win streak. Malcolm Gordon 14-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off 2 wins in a row. So Malcolm Gordon able to sort of right that ship. Malcolm Gordon's a black belt. He does have some solid striking. His chin is a little bit suspect. He has a nice high striking guard. He comes forward, but he gets taken down. He literally has a 0% takedown defense. And he's fighting Makhachev, who has an insane, what is this average? 11.21 takedowns.
Well, it says there he has a
minutes.
44. Oh, grappling. Sorry. I was about to really get all over you right there. I saw the defense 44, and I was like, hey, you idiot.
No, that's striking defense.
Yeah,
Makhachev, insane amount of takedowns, right? He had 12 takedowns in his last fight. And there's 2 things to take away from that. One, his cardio is insane. He'll never stop shooting takedowns, ever. But 2, there's zero reason whatsoever somebody should be able to stand up on you 11 times. That's insane. That's insane. Oh, in a 15.
Have you ever tried to hold down a 12-year-old? You know how hard it is to hold down those little guys. They're squirmy, man. I saw a joke the other day. Would you rather fight 10 100-year-olds or 110-year-olds? That's a big question.
10 100-year-olds.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people were saying 110-year-olds, and I think I lose that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I swear I don't make it past 7 of them.
Well, 7. Anyway, I think Makhachev absolutely is going to win this fight. He's a -1,200 favorite, as he should be. I don't think there's going to be many surprises here. We did see Makhachev get taken down by Cody Durden in his UFC debut. He submitted him, but he was taken down Malcolm Gordon averages 2 takedowns per fight. It's not ridiculous if he shoots a takedown, but I just think Makhachev does whatever he wants. So he's the obvious pick. He'll probably be your pick too. What are your thoughts? And I'll tell you what bet I do like.
Yeah, he is going to be my pick, but I'm the only one, I guess I'm the only one that broke down this fight, saw the odds, and when I looked at the odds, they were like minus 600, minus 500, minus 600, and I looked at the odds, and I was like, I think these are wide. And they've doubled. They went to minus 1,200. And the only reason I say that is because Malcolm Gordon, yes, he can't get taken down, but is pretty good at scrambling. And once he ends up on top, you saw that against Figgy, he stays on top. He has very, very good top pressure. So any sort of weird scramble, if Mokaev's on his back, I think Gordon can almost control those positions. And if he starts controlling those positions, all of a sudden, this is a very interesting fight. And even on the feet, I feel like Malcolm Gordon is super, super explosive. I mean, he comes in with like flying, running knees, Superman punches. I mean, he does some wild stuff. And all it takes is one. I know these are little dudes, but all it takes is one shot to knock somebody down. So yeah, Mokaev is a play. He should dominate on the ground. But I'm just saying there is a world where Malcolm Gordon comes in and does some weird shit. So, but yeah, Mokaev's a play, and he's in parlays and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and I think you and I completely, I think we're split on this. I like the over 1.5 here. Muhammad Mokaev is a grappling finisher, meaning he's not knocking people out. That's not his thing. He's just grappling, taking you down. If he can catch you in a submission, he will. So, okay, fine. Like, that makes him dangerous to certain people. But Malcolm Gordon is a BJJ black belt, and a pretty good one at that. I think this goes over 1.5. I got no problem with that. I genuinely think it's going to go over.
The issue is, and you brought it up, Mokaev's last fight, he couldn't finish that guy who's not a grappler at all. The difference is that guy was fighting not to get submitted, basically. He was basically fighting not to get submitted, where Malcolm Gordon's going to come in, he's going to try to win the fight. And when you're trying to win the fight and in scrambles you get too aggressive, that's when people get caught in submission. So that's why I feel it's a little bit different in this fight. Malcolm Gordon's aggression is going to hurt him not only in the takedown defense, because he's going to be coming with the strikes and the timing, but also in the scrambles as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that was well said too. I mean, I nailed that.
Wow, look at you. Yeah, you're very well spoken. Absolutely. From the gutters of Indiana to look at you on a podcast.
I actually told a story in Discord today. I grew up rough because we had an ice, the ice maker, and it has cubed and crushed. My dad did not let us use crushed ice because it was going to burn out the motor. So I just spent my entire childhood with just cubed ice.
Is that really a thing? It's going to burn out the motor?
That's what he said. I don't know.
That's absurd.
Just like when he leaves, when he puts food in a Tupperware container, he leaves it on the counter to get to room temperature before he puts it in the fridge, because he feels like the fridge is going to have to work harder if you put warm food in it.
And your last name's not Weinstein?
No.
Goldberg?
No.
Shmuley? Anyway, $9,600.
You know what's funny about that is a little tangent here. You said Weinstein, and I was thinking of Harvey Weinstein. I was trying to make that connection. I was trying to make whoa, and then I got it. But yeah, when that first name, I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Muhammad Mokaev, $9,600 in DraftKings, 100% worth that money. Absolutely, every world.
Yeah,
if it's a decision, he's going to score 9 million points. And if there's a stoppage, then you score a bunch of points. Like, he's worth $9,600.
100%. Yeah, I'm actually upset that Magomed fight dropped, because I had them stacked up with some good underdogs, some live underdogs, I thought, and I had the best. I literally had the best DraftKings lineup I've ever seen in my life. But
I guess we're not going to break that fight down. When I broke that fight down on Sunday, I compared him to Victor Henry. I'm like, he should win. He's the better fighter here. But there's a very long layoff, a lot of weird stuff going on. He might be your Victor Henry parlay buster, so I'm not touching him in parlays or bets, but I did have him in my DraftKings before it dropped.
Except he's the one with the experience, and the other kid was 19 years old, UFC debut.
I get it. I just, after the Victor
Henry
that
guy went toe-to-toe. He knocked out Fiziev and then went toe-to-toe with Brad Riddell.
He didn't knock out Fiziev.
Yeah, he did.
He knocked out Fiziev.
Yeah. Like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you made it sound. I got you. Sorry, I'm thinking Brad Riddell in his last fight. My bad. Yeah, my
Jesus
bad.
Christ! I was like, what the fuck?
No, I was thinking
gee,
Brad
go
Ritt.
for it.
Anyway, we're way off topic. It's not even this.
This is going to take. This is supposed to be short and sweet. This podcast, not structured, is going to be 5 hours long.
It is structured. Anyway, so Muhammad Mokaev absolutely 100% should be in your DraftKings lineup. Listen, anybody who's not a premium member and you do DraftKings, become a premium member because we give you DraftKings ownership projections. So every single fighter on this card, they're projected ownerships. If you're doing large tournaments, that's obviously very important. We have a DraftKings optimizer, which will build you a lineup. It'll build you 150 lineups. And we have full fighter rankings. So every single fighter in every single price category will be ranked. So when you're building a lineup, you can, who you think should go in there, what your budget looks like, jump into those rankings. And we have our biggest favorite, our fade of the week, and all sorts of content specific to DraftKings. And that's all wrapped in under the premium umbrella. It's $10 a month for that, the bets, and everything else. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Somebody asked, am I locked into a 2-year contract? No, it's month to month, which I thought was a funny question. What?
That's how I get my checks month to month. Can you mod Kim real quick?
The first of the month?
Right.
I can't. I don't have YouTube open. I can't. Can't you do it?
No, I can't. But it needs to happen.
Okay, I'll do it now. I think I don't know how to do it. Oh, I have to do it on the back end and stuff. Her name is.
I think you just click her name in the chat. You should be able to just click and make mod or something.
It's not.
I can't do it, but
it's not letting me just click her name, and that's not a thing.
Yeah, the 3 dots on the right side, not her name itself.
Oh.
The 3 dots.
Add moderator.
Sorry, guys.
Kim is now moderator.
We got Grandpa.
There we go.
We got Papa in here trying to do the internet.
Welcome to adulthood. All right. And guys, we are cleaning up the there's some toxic people we've banned. And I don't even care. Like, you want to disagree. Of course, that's what this is all about. If everybody agreed, this show sucks. No problem disagreeing. I don't even care. We're like, that pick's kind of trash. It's like there's some people that come in here that just live for the negative and they drag you guys down. That's just not going to happen. So clean it up or you'll get the hell out of here. I do not care. Speaking of toxic people, Brandon with the $2 super chat.
This piece of shit.
Which fight gets the Victor Henry treatment? You mean who's the parlay buster? I don't know because a lot of these heavy favorites should
probably
be
that overrated piece of shit. Bulel Muhammad. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
he's not the favorite.
I understand that, but there's so many people, and I just wanted to
it's
say
like
it. I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to say it.
I was gonna say it's like who's a good size favorite? I might be Nikita.
I mean,
Krylov.
it could be Piotr Jan. I mean, if
actually, it could
Sugar
be.
comes in, I mean, Sugar
It
comes
could be
in and does
Piotr.
what he says he's going to do. I mean, that's
Actually,
the most. That literally is the most
right.
unknown situation because you have no idea if Sugar's going to come in and not be that guy, or if he comes in and he could come in and
talk
be
about
that
fight
guy
when we get to that fight.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
talk
he could be that guy.
We'll get there. We'll talk about it then. The last thing is these Monkey Knife Fight strike line. This is another tricky line. So Monkey Knife Fight, if you know what that is, it's daily fantasy, and all you need to do is say more or less on how many strikes, total strikes, not significant. Just how many strikes, pitter patter, everything are landed in that fight. 45 for Mokaev, 24 for Malcolm. Those are very low numbers for perspective. But Mokaev doesn't it's a ton of grappling, a ton. He's not really, there's not even time to land punches, so he's just diving at legs. What do you think?
Mokaev is one of those dudes that could come in and try to show off his striking. I mean, he's one of those guys that's so confident in everything he does. He could just abandon the grappling altogether and try to win a fight striking because he gets bored. I mean, that's how good he is and how confident he is. So yeah, and that's what scares me about this is he could come and dance because he does dance around a little bit and throw some strikes. But that's the only thing that really worries me, which sounds stupid, but it literally that's a thing sometimes. People are just so dominant that they just want to show off other aspects of how they fight. You saw Chimaev do it.
I mean, that is true. Yeah, against Gilbert Burns, he should have just taken him down and ended it, and he didn't. I'm not going to touch it, especially with Monkey Knife Fight. I'm a big Knockout Kings fan instead, so I'm not going to touch that. But if you guys want to mess with it, if you go to weonpicks.com/MKF, they'll match your deposit. So if you give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. Take that free money, play with some of these lines, and if you lose it, who cares? It wasn't even your money. And if you win, great. You won some more money on top of the free money that they gave you. Next up, at UFC 280, we have Armen Petrosyan taking on AJ Dobson. Armen Petrosyan 6-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that grappling heavy loss to Caio. You're going to hear his name a lot. He fought everybody at 185 on this card. He fought
literally
and beat.
Literally.
AJ Dobson
looked great doing it too.
Yeah. AJ Dobson's 6-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off the grappling heavy loss to Jacob Malkoun. So 2 guys coming off grappling losses. It should be an interesting fight. I like Armen in this fight. He's a 2-1 favorite, and frankly, if you only watched his 2 UFC wins, I get it. Like, the dude looks good in his wins. He plants his feet. He lets his hands go. He is an animal as a striker, and he's got a really good get-up game, really good scrambling. But that last fight's a little worrisome. Like, Caio Borralho just dominated him with the minutes. Just takedown control, no big deal whatsoever. And we hadn't really seen that happen to Armen before. AJ Dobson's not really a grappler, but he can grapple. What's his takedown average? Almost 1 per fight, so he can grapple. If you just saw Armen's... What?
I mean, that AJ stat is based on 1 takedown in the Contender Series, and that takedown was they were both falling to the ground, and he ended up on top. It wasn't like a wrestling... And that was my biggest question mark going to this fight. Can AJ Dobson wrestle? Because I have no idea if he can wrestle.
There's some regional fights where he's had some actual takedowns.
Like actual takedowns. Okay,
yes.
I didn't get that deep. I just know the takedown that I saw, and I've seen the submission wins as well, but the takedown I saw was okay, that's not really a takedown. Can he actually... And Armen, to his credit, he doesn't have bad takedown defense. I mean, and once he's on the ground, he's hard to submit, right? He knows what he's doing. He just can't get back to his feet. But his takedown defense, I don't think looks terrible. And it's got to be something he's going to be working on constantly, I would think, because he knows how to strike.
His takedown defense is just okay. It's really his get-up game is phenomenal. He will scramble and stand up on anybody that isn't Caio Borralho for the most part. He really works his way up, and then he makes you pay. He'll start blasting away, and he's almost there. What I like about him is he accepts I'm probably going to be taken down here. So I'm just going to let my hands go. I'll probably be taken down. I'll work my way back up. He's not afraid to throw.
I think AJ's going to I literally think that this is going to be a striking match. I see this differently. I just see that AJ, the way I've seen him strike, I think he's going to have success early, and he's just going to stick with the striking. I think he's going to pay for it later because he does have really quick, nice hands, those tight little combinations he throws, but a little flat-footed for me against a guy like Armen. But I think he stands with him. Obviously, he should wrestle, but I think it's a striking match. And I hope it is because I have Armen.
Who do you think
I hope
wins?
It is.
Oh,
I have Armen because I think
okay.
I think I'm more confident in most people because I think it's a striking match and Armen should dominate. But if all of a sudden he's getting taken down, now it's it's the red flag.
Yeah. I mean, so we're both on the Armen side here, but this is one of my least confident favorites. Actually, so somebody asked earlier who's the parlay buster. It might be Armen Petrosyan. This is absolutely a fight where a 2-1 favorite could. This and Nikita Krylov are my least confident 2-1 favorites.
I love Nikita.
We'll break down that fight,
but
when we get there.
Yeah, I don't know if people are that high on. Or I don't think I even have any action. I think it's the only fight I don't have action on, just because I don't know. You're right. There is a little bit of an unknown, so you don't really know. I guess if you don't know where to put your money, you don't know where the fight's gonna go. So that's probably a good prediction. Excellent job, Angelo. Excellent.
See,
job.
Thank you so much.
You're doing really well. You're hanging in there.
I'm starting to put it together. I'm just so thankful you allow me to be on your show. I really,
those practice sessions every Sunday night are paying off. I mean, 3-4 hours we sit here and we go over the script over and
dry
over
runs.
and over.
Yeah,
dry rubs.
Runs.
Oh, I was gonna say that's usually Saturday night. That's usually Saturday night, not Sunday night.
Okay, so dry handy for Jacob. $9,100 in DraftKings. Probably that's a tricky one because he can win by stoppage. Armen can do that. That's what Armen does. But he's not a guy I'm spending $9,100 on. I'm not going to do it. Not on this card, which such heavy grapplers, and grapplers always score really well in DraftKings.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is about grapplers, and there's even underdogs that are grapplers as well. You might see more Armen in more people's lineups now that the Magomed fight dropped. I mean, people are going to be looking for those finished guys. So
stoppage guy.
This could be So, but no, he's not my lineup.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I do think there is a stoppage here. AJ Dobson can throw some heat. Armen Petrosyan is a solid striker. Hold on. You're going to wait. You're going to put that down and you're going to wait.
Will you forget that I had my hand up? Because sometimes teachers do that.
I won't forget. So I like both of these guys for Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings because I think one of them could put the other one out. The reason I don't like Armen at $9,100 is because I think he can get put out, right? Like, for DraftKings, I mean, AJ Dobson throws heat, and he's fast, and he's athletic, and he mixes in his power and his speed. Jesus Christ. Yes.
You forgot. Well, I was going to say.
I was literally still talking.
Well, I was going to say to that point, you were starting to beat me to my point, and I panicked a little bit.
Oh, that's what,
I was going to tell you that AJ Dobson's in my DraftKings lineup because I think if he gets the wrestling and he's got fast hands too, I think $7,100. He's one of those rare, live dogs. There's only a few of them on this card, honestly.
There's not many.
Yeah, he's one of those rare ones, and it's a decent value. So he's in my DraftKings lineup. Before you could say he's good value,
I think he's solid value. You need a couple underdogs in a DraftKings lineup, and like I said, I think Monkey Knife Fight Knockout Kings, either one of these guys, honestly, you can do both. So if you don't know what that is, go to weonpicks.com/MKF. You can pick any 3 fighters on the entire card, including 2 fighters that are fighting each other. Any 3 you can pick. And if one of them wins by knockout or TKO, you get 25% net profit. It's essentially free money. We hit it last week. I think I actually missed the week before. We hit like 20 in a row. Like it's essentially free money. Because you can, any 3 fighters, including 2, that are fighting each other. So I wouldn't mind throwing both these guys in here. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line, 72-61. I think it's a less. I really do. Like, they could just swing at each other and go at it for 3 full rounds. But I think it's a less. I think they'll start to slow down after the first if there's not a stoppage. And ultimately, I think there's a stoppage. What do you think?
Yeah, God bless you for it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Real quality stuff from you today.
Well, we got all these donations. I got really distracted.
Oh, I didn't see those yet. I'm still here. So somebody said, I want to see Sean V and Swivy. Sean V's been banned, by the way. So he's been booted.
Buddy.
The guy is just such a freaking nightmare. We kicked his ass out of here. He's gone. Super chat from Luis Rodriguez. Dariush by stoppage. Lock of the week. Great content as always. So thank you very much. Genuinely appreciated, Luis.
Luis is always in here. Luis is always dominating.
It might just be Lewis. It might just be Lewis. We're just like, ethnicking it up. But I think it's Luis. Thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate it. And the $20 super chat from Pepe Silva. How much does it cost a week to be a premium member?
Look at that. He's doing it for you, doing the work for you.
I appreciate you so much. So Pepe Silva, this $20 that you just sent, 8 weeks of premium membership. 8 weeks of premium membership. And you know why? Because it's only $2.50 a week. I should figure out the math for me.
That was quick.
Do the daily math. It's less than $1 a day, Jacob.
Less than a cup of coffee a day.
It's 30. Is it 33 cents a day? 10 divided by 30.
That's cheaper than doing some laundry.
33 cents a day. My goodness. You can't even go to the arcade and play Tetris twice a day.
What can you do with 33 cents?
Nothing.
I bought a cigarette off a bum
you can get some
one time for
successful
33
bets
cents.
at weonpicks.com. What?
Oh. I said
you bought some Lucy's?
No, I bought a cigarette off a bum one time for 33 cents.
A Lucy? Congratulations. Go to jail for that. Next up, at UFC 280, we have Abubakar Nurmagomedov taking on Gadzhi
What was that?
Omargadzhiev.
What was that name?
It's Abubakar. Okay.
No, it flowed so well off your tongue. I want to hear it again.
Oh, this isn't 2021, Angelo. I got all the names.
That's part of that Sunday practice.
Taking on Gadzhi Omargadzhiev. See? With the radio voice and everything. Abubakar is 16-3 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5. He is coming back after a year and a half away. He's taking on Gadzhi Omargadzhiev. No, I screwed up that time. 13-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. His first loss of his career. That's what he's coming off. Not great for him.
And he was a A1 quitter. Literally a A1 quitter. He was losing the fight, got kneed in the head, and was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it wasn't a great loss coming off against Caio, who we love talking about in this card. But it's an interesting fight, right? Because if you didn't see Gadzhi fight Caio, he'd be the pick. He'd be the favorite, frankly. He straight up would be the favorite. If you went back in time and he was still 13-0 and that fight just didn't exist, he'd be the favorite.
Well, they probably wouldn't be fighting because it's a different weight class, Angelo.
I get it. He's moving down after that, but you get my point.
Well, I don't like playing hypotheticals.
Oh, here we go. Anyway, that was at 185 pounds. This is obviously at 170. Gadzhi's coming down. You know, frankly, I get why Abubakar is the favorite. He's going to be bigger. He's got, all the tools, and we just watched Caio take Gadzhi down, control him for 10 minutes. Abubakar can obviously wrestle. Just look at his last name. But with that being said, Gadzhi at 170, I'm going to wait for the scale just to really make an official pick. But I like Gadzhi a lot. I think he's very good. That last fight was not a good look. And if he looks good on the scale, ready to go, cardio, like all that stuff, Gadzhi's going to be my pick for sure. I think he's one of the best undercards, but underdogs, I don't know what he's going to look like coming down in weight. That's 85 to 70 it's a decent sized cut. Like that's
that's why I do that. Actually, it's not too bad for me. I'll be honest with you. I can go to 170 from 185 in a weekend. We didn't forget about your donation. We're just doing this and then we'll get to it. The biggest question mark here, and if people have been tuning into the live streams, if there's people in the chat right now that know what I'm about to say about the live streams, is there's 4 things that we know you don't do in MMA. You don't bet on heavyweights. You don't bet on women's MMA. We've learned on the live streams now that if you have just a mustache, you will lose. I think the last 4 or 5 people that sported just mustache. And if you have chest hair, you also lose unless you have back hair as well. They cancel each other out. So if you are sporting chest hair without back hair, you are going to lose the fight. From these pictures, it's basically going to come down to who is going to come in clean shaven. Maybe it's the weight cut, right? Maybe he's cutting weight. He's trying to cut
Neither one of these guys would be clean shaven. Look at those last names.
I think that Gadzhi could come in looking baby oiled up, slick, and then he's going to dominate this fight. But if they both have chest hair, it's going to come down to their skills and abilities. And Abu is much more of the slow pace, technical, go through the motions type guy, which I think can win this fight. But as you mentioned, Gadzhi is a wild dude. He is definitely the way more dangerous guy in this matchup. So I got to go with the safer pick and the safer play, especially because of the weight cut coming for Abu. So he is my pick for this fight. But I got money on Gadzhi. I mean, I got money on Gadzhi in a certain way for premium members. But I got money on Gadzhi, and if he wins, I'll be ecstatic, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just going to wait for the weigh-ins. I'm going to wait just to see what that looks like. He might look like he's about to die. He might look fantastic. And, he's a decent-sized underdog, and he'll remain that way. I will be – those lines move fast after weigh-ins, guys. So if you're like me and you're going to be watching the weigh-ins, they move fast. Like, people literally are sitting there waiting to submit the bet. They see somebody looks good, they send it. So, honestly –
me at a bar on a Friday night because my name is Lines too. Do you get it? Fast lines.
So stupid. $5 from I0 ban Lewis. Why would I ban Lewis?
Champ.
Cameron future champ. Oh, because he said Darius. Because he said, is he?
Gamrot.
Thank you very much for the super chat. We'll get to that fight, I do believe.
Gamrot will win the fight. Gamrot will win the fight. Luis Rodriguez with the $4.99. Buy I0 some knee pads for when he is with Gamrot. We've got quite the battle brewing in the live chat here. Ooh.
$4.99 from Luis Rodriguez. Buy I0 some knee pads for when he is with Gamrot. I don't understand that. Don't explain it.
So basically, what happens is Gamrot's he's gonna be like in a position.
Dude, sit down. This is the dad voice. DraftKings 8,700, 7,500. You need underdogs in your lineup. I think Gadzhi at $7,500 is phenomenal.
I'll
wait.
Yeah, he's in. No, he's not. He was in a lineup by Bill. I think he was in my lineup with Magomed. But yeah, I agree. I think he's pretty good value because Abu's not a finisher in his own right. I mean, he has finishes obviously, but
correct.
I mean, he just wants to slowly strike to get to boring grappling, Khabib-like grappling. So yeah, I think it's a good play.
Yeah, is your
like
bet
the stream?
Is your bet a win inside the distance decision, no action on Gadzhi?
I mean, I'm trying to hide some.
I'm not going to hide everything from everybody.
I'm trying to get premium
membership.
memberships. I'm trying to get people to like the stream right now. But yeah, it is.
Okay, what were the odds on that? I might just do that right now as we're talking.
They were. I got it.
I'm looking now. Yeah, let me see.
Plus 115. I don't know what they are now.
That's solid.
It should be. I mean, it should be minus money.
It should. So if you don't know, tell people what that bet is while I look it up.
It's still plus 115. Yeah, inside the distance decisional action, I think is a great play for this since we're giving the bet away. Abu is a guy that's in the striking is pretty
Plus
slow.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
And not anything crazy. In the grappling, yes, he can get takedowns, but he's more of a just kind of grind you. Kind of like a Belal Muhammad. Just lay and pray. Very overrated fighter, Belal Muhammad. We all know he's going to lose that fight. But Abu is kind of that same fighter. Not a dangerous guy, where Gadzhi is the much more dangerous fighter. If he wins inside the distance, you get paid. If Abu wins a decision, you get your money back. If Gadzhi wins a decision, you still get your money back. You can still get plus money on him. And if Abu wins a boring decision, you're just gonna get your money back. I think it's a great play. There's another fight like that as well. Stay tuned. Become a premium member to see my other one.
That accent.
And onlyfans.com/the freckled salamander to see the really other one.
That would be funny if it's a bit, but that would be funny if you really did have an OnlyFans.
And I'm just
not like an ironic one like what's that nerd?
Oh, Chase Hooper.
Yeah, not like that, like an actual
And I'm just reeling it in. And
anybody
everyone's in the chat's like, yeah, he's right. I mean, that thing's a hog. You know what I mean?
Anybody who lives in Texas, you see the Texas Hammer. You've seen those stupid commercials. That stupid lawyer, that annoying ass lawyer.
Yeah. The
Texas Hammer. That's your new. You should flop that thing on the table. The Texas Hammer. Okay. The Sean V commenting here is not the Sean V. This is just some Muppet clown that changed his name for some reason. Just like Angelo's truck.
I think it actually is. I think it actually is the way he's right. I think that it actually is.
He's been banned. It can't be.
It's a different. I know, but it's a different thing. I'm just saying.
Well, whatever. Anyway, I like $7,500 in DraftKings for Gadzhi, Omargadzhiev. Monkey Knife Fight 62-51. Man, that's another really tough strike line. What do you think?
It's probably more and more. I think Gadzhi's going to bring out the strikes in this matchup. So, and total strikes, even in the grappling, I think there's going to be strikes to get to takedowns. Soften people up, that sort of thing. So
yeah.
See, Sean V said it is me, so it's got to be him because he said it's him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll ban them all. I'll ban every single one of them. Not a problem. Not a problem. Guys, WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It's freaking $10. It's $10. $10. You guys did more in donations arguing with each other than it cost to be a premium member.
Which, by the way, I think that Luis came out on top on that exchange, to be honest with you. So.
I am Angelo's purging chat. It's not that I'm purging chat. I'm just cleaning up. Listen, it's a bunch of people watch fights, love to argue, and I have no problem with that culture. But some people are just 100% negative all the time. So now when I see it's okay if it's a comment that's bad pick, I disagree. But when every single comment out of somebody's mouth is just some attacking, not even us, but other people that come, Sean V, that loser, would 30 seconds after a fight would go back to a comment from 5 days earlier and just
not
jump
even our
down
comments,
somebody's throat.
Just
other
some random
people.
person's comment. Yeah, just some this poor little 13-year-old that commented on YouTube for the first time. I think Cub Swanson's gonna win, and then Sean V's like, "Hey, you fucking idiot, you stupid! How could you pick?" It's unreal. Oh, I see. Back in the game.
And that's the culture that we're changing. So I literally banned his ass. And then there was some other person that did the same thing. If I see a negative comment and I'm by my computer, I check every comment you've ever made. And if they're all negative, gone. I don't need that shit. We work too hard. There's too many good people here to let a couple of just literal. And when I say losers, I'm too old to call somebody a loser because they look different and don't have
That's my job.
If you bring nothing positive to this community, what are you doing here? I don't need you. See ya. And I'm not even talking about money. contribute with a positive comment or just a comment in general or just a like and a watch. But just like, if all it is negative nonsense, I hate your guts. I0 with the $5 super chat. Luis Rodriguez, don't be silly. I'll be Jesus Christ. I'll be diamond studding knee pads once I hit the Gamrot money line. You just leaned into it. I guess that's the way to go.
That's the
Congratulations.
way to go. Now it's over. Now Luis has nothing to say. Can't come back from that. He just won.
All right.
Anytime you make fun of yourself, you just win. I know how to play that. Been playing it my whole life.
Congratulations. Next up. At UFC 280, we have Zubaira Tukhugov taking on Lucas Almeida.
Just call him Zuba. They call him Zuba.
It's a lot easier than Zubaira for sure. Zuba Tukhugov is 20-5 overall, 2-1 in his last 5, and he is coming off a decision win 10 months ago. A lot of these guys, first fight back in a year, almost a year, 2 years. Lucas Almeida 14-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a KO win over Mike Trizano, which is not Mike Trizano's very, very good. That was a really nice win. So I think this entire fight, very simply, is going to come down to takedown defense. I think Almeida is the much better striker. It's not even close, like just worlds. What?
Whoa. Because
Okay,
I made a very bold statement about Zuba in his striking. And that was, he reminds me, and people are not going to like this. You're not going to like this at all. And I'm not saying he has the same power, okay? I'm just saying his striking, his in and out, the way he lands counter shocks looks just like, if I close my eyes, well, not close my eyes, but if I were to do one of these jobs and just see some footwork and some hands, it looks like Conor McGregor to me. I mean, he literally, the way I watch him strike, he looks like Conor McGregor in the striking with his counter shots. Not the same power, but that early Conor in and out style, and then the step off counters and stuff like that. I think his striking is very slick. Almeida's definitely a more dangerous striker, but I think Zuba's a very good striker.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think he's a very good striker, and I think they're just worlds apart. I don't think he's a bad, miserable striker, but I don't think he's very good, and Almeida's very good. I think they're worlds apart. That's why I think this is going to come down to takedown defense. If this stays on their feet, we agree Almeida smokes him, right?
No, I think it's back. I mean, Zuba doesn't even really. I mean, he uses his wrestling, but he's not a grapple first guy. I mean, he just stands.
He's not grapple first. I agree. I completely agree. But I'm saying,
obviously, if it stands on the feet, that's Almeida's best chance, right? And
no, not best chance. He will win that fight.
I think it's more of a 60-40 scenario.
But for Almeida.
For Almeida, yeah. Because he's a more dangerous striker. Zuba is a decision striker. Almeida has never had a win that hasn't gone he's never gone to the distance in a win. He is a finisher. And I don't think that Zuba is going to be able to get the takedowns against Almeida too. I mean, I have Almeida winning this fight. So you don't have to talk to me about Almeida. I think he wins this fight because he's a more dangerous striker. But there is definitely a world where Zuba comes in and wins a striking decision with his technicality over Lucas. That's all I'm saying. It's not 100% guaranteed.
So you and I are. This is why it's important to listen to the words that we say, because many times Jacob and I are on opposite sides of the pick, but we're saying almost the same things with just a little bit of a different read. And there's a lot of times, like even with Victor Henry, I fell into that Victor Henry trap. But if you listen to my breakdown, I was like, listen, I think Victor Henry's a little bit inflated here because he beat a bad Hani Barcelos. I don't think he's as good as you say, and blah, blah, blah. So it's important to listen to the words. This is one of the very few times where you and I, we don't even have the same read. I think Tukhugov has trash.
It's because I did my research and.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Okay, well, I'm on the Tukhugov side. You're on the Almeida side. Let's bet $100.
I would love to do that. Yeah, if you're gonna give me odds.
No.
Do you want to make it more interesting? Well, what? I guess it's hard to say like if it stays on the feet because if Zuba starts wrestling, I don't want that.
I wouldn't if it stays on the. Yeah.
Because you're the one that was saying, wait, you're on the. I'm arguing for Zuba, but I'm against Zuba. What?
I don't know why you're doing that. Because my overall point was Zuba.
I'm just putting a case up for my dude because he is a good striker. I think he's a good striker.
My overall point is Zuba will lose his striking exchanges, go to his wrestling. He averages 2.5 takedowns per fight. Lucas Almeida has only a 50% takedown defense. I think that's how Zuba wins this fight. Takedowns and control.
I think that's his best path to victory. I agree. I don't think he's going to get the takedowns, but I think that he can win. I think if these guys stand with no I think if these guys kickbox for 15 minutes, I think Zuba wins that fight 4 out of 10 times.
I don't know. Okay.
And you would say that Almeida would win it 10 out of 10 times. That's our argument.
Yes. That is the argument.
That's our argument. But I have Almeida, so I think he's more dangerous, and I'm going with him. So I'm just trying to put some respect on Zuba's name. If he comes watching Zuba, hey, I got you, man. I don't know what this dude's doing up here. He's not watching what I'm watching. You got those slick hands, baby.
So we betting $100. I got Zuba. You got Almeida. Since you're so confident.
I mean, this is like the closest fight, so we might as well. I'll take that. Okay. That's fine. But I have more respect for Zuba than you. You have money on Zuba, and I have more respect on Zuba than you do.
I only have money with you. I don't have a real bet in real life on him.
I know, but I'm saying you're betting on a guy that I believe in more than you, which feels weird to me right now. But
all right, so fine. So $7,900. You love him in DraftKings. Then you think he wins outright? He's dangerous.
Right? Yeah. He's in my DraftKings.
Okay. I think $8,300 for Zuba is solid at DraftKings because DraftKings love grapplers, and that's almost $8,300 is almost even money. So I think I like him in DraftKings. We'll see after weigh-ins. It's funny. So we have obviously premium members. We have the DraftKings optimizer, which will build lineups for you. Inevitably, people will complain on like a Wednesday. It's not populated. First of all, the optimizer pre-populates with all the fighter names, their projected scoring, so like the points they're projected to earn, and the projected ownership, and then it uses that information to build you a lineup. That's all useless. Like the numbers aren't final till after weigh-ins. So people using the optimizer on a Wednesday, it's stupid. It's useless. It's pointless. You got to wait till the fights are locked in. You got to wait till the fights are locked in. Stupid idiots. And by 6 p.m. on Fridays is when it's 100% done, locked in, ready to go. You can build $150 or 150 lineups with just a couple of clicks.
Zuba?
Who? Looks like you?
I'm just kidding. I was just going to say Lucas Almeida. Don't we kind of look the same?
No. They're much larger than you.
Huh?
Yeah, they're 145
pounds. You want to take my shirt off? And we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, I do.
You want to both take our shirts off and see what happens?
We can both just flex real quick. Okay. Yeah, congratulations.
Well, you said both flex, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh, okay. Bang. Oh,
look. Is there a little shadow in there? You paint that ahead of time? You were ready for this, huh?
Tiff, get the light. Get the light. Anyway, Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 58-70. I think this is a more or less situation because I think Zuba gets the takedowns, elbows, all those little pitter patters to get them, all that stuff. I don't see Lucas Almeida getting to 70 strikes. I think there's a lot of takedowns, a lot of control, all of that stuff. And frankly, let's just talk about how smart the live chat is.
Angelo, to start the stream, we do have to keep the cussing down. Angelo, 20 minutes in, putting on the screen. Jacob's up.
That is unbelievable. $10 from I0. I wish I could be here for Bilal versus Brady portion, but I got to go, boys. It's been fun. Luis Rodriguez, Double G, nothing but love, brother.
GG means good. It's GG, good game. Like GG. Double G. What a fucking loser, old. Dude.
I'm so
Holy
old.
shit. Luis Rodriguez, Double G. Nothing but love, brother. But Gamrot, future champ. I, LL will be on the speed dial in the Discord with a weird line ... Not sure what that is.
Thank you very much. Very, very, very appreciated. I didn't know.
That's why we're not at 10,000 subscribers. I mean,
I didn't know GG.
That's why that literally is why there's only 61 likes on the stream because we
obviously it's almost 300 live viewers right now.
Nobody wants to like the stream because of stuff like that.
I'm old.
I don't even blame him anymore.
All right, well, sorry guys.
Double G.
My oldness is what keeps this contained. like structured and how we get content 7 days a week. And if you guys don't know, we've updated our content schedule. There is literally fresh content 7 days a week now. Every single day of the week, we will either be live or dropping a new video. And honestly, thank you, Jacob, for stepping up and doing a little more, because a lot of it, the live streams are all you now. And now you do a quick picks video. Appreciate it. You've really earned your 5%.
We have a lot more fun than we're having right now, I'll tell you that.
It's not fun for me. All right.
It's going to take forever.
It's not fast. And I thought we did the first fight in like a minute and a half. So I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a 30-minute live stream.
This is what happens with live streams. I'll do a live, like tomorrow's live stream. I'm going to try to talk about bets. We last week, it was like an hour and a half of talking about bet. I think I talked about 2 fights. We talk about so much just random shit, just off on a tangent. It is crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, nothing I love more than seeing you on the Fight Pick channel.
I was going to say, if that's not a sales pitch, I don't know what it is. Join tomorrow. We are not going to talk about the fights. And we're going to open cards. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, from Jacob's mom's basement. Next up, at UFC 280, we got Volkan Oezdemir taking on Nikita Krylov. Volkan Oezdemir, 18-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that win over Paul Craig. Nikita Krylov, 28-9 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that stoppage win over Alexander Gustafsson. I do not understand this line. I talked about it in quick picks. I think Volkan Oezdemir can win this fight. I totally understand I'm getting there.
Okay. It should be just very easy because there's really only one path.
I totally understand that he beat Paul Craig, didn't look amazing doing it. But the reality is Nikita Krylov hasn't looked amazing either. Everyone's like, oh, he looks so good while he was Paul Craig, until he was submitted, because he has horrific fight IQ, doesn't have great jiu-jitsu defense, even though his wrestling is solid. And my issue is, I think this fight should be a pick'em. If I'm setting this line, it's like minus 120, plus 100. Like, it's a very
last
close
line you would ever set. Literally, I mean, that would be the last line you ever said.
And anyway, but my issue here is everybody is just giving Krylov all the credit in the world for beating a 40-year-old Gustafsson who hadn't fought in 3 years and shouldn't be fighting. And that's just inflated. There's too much recency bias here. This should be closer to a pick'em. I think Oezdemir, frankly, he's got way more power. Can we agree on that? Cleaner striking and more power and the tougher competition levels. No?
Well, you just add. I was about to agree with something. Then you added like 5 more things that made no sense.
86% takedown defense on top of it. And the only person that has ever taken Oezdemir down more than one time in a fight, Daniel Cormier. But yeah, Nikita Krylov spanks him.
Right. I mean, I'm glad you said it. That literally is what it comes down to. The only thing that Volkan has over Nikita is the power. You said power, and I was about to agree with you. Then you started rambling on about, I don't know what, eating your ice cream. But yeah, and Nikita, I think, is better in the grappling. I think he's better in the wrestling. I think this is definitely a stand. I don't think there's going to be any wrestling. I don't think there's any grappling, unless somebody gets hurt or feels the pressure of the other person, which could be Volkan. But Nikita is faster. And this comes down to a striking match, and Nikita, to me, has a cleaner, faster striking. And if he just kind of dances around and takes his time, he should be able to pick Volkan apart, and then the bigger shots will be there to land. The issue is, as you mentioned, sometimes Nikita just does stupid shit for no reason. So he could come in, stand in the pocket, try to knock out Volkan like he did Gustafsson, and then get knocked out. I don't see it happening. It shouldn't happen. But it could happen, and as you mentioned, Volkan does have the power in this matchup. So I'm actually pretty confident in Nikita. I actually like the odds that they're playing at. I even took it a step further and did a minus 3.5 on him because I think that he should be able to dominate every single round. He should be able to dominate every single round.
The only reason that's not terrible is because I don't think he'll dominate every single round. I think if he wins, there's a finish. If he wins, I think there's a finish.
Well, even if there's not a finish, because Volkan is tough, but Volkan is so low volume that I don't have to worry about Nikita getting overwhelmed. Like we saw Victor Henry, we saw Mana almost happen to him too as well. They almost got overwhelmed and lost rounds that way. I don't think I have to worry about that with Volkan. I think Nikita is going to have the pace, pressure, and the volume. I just have to worry about Nikita maybe getting dropped around, right? Because Volkan does have that power. That's the only thing that really scares me is he gets dropped, and now all of a sudden he just won a round, and now I'm screwed for my bet. So that's what I'm most worried about.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. I think I like Oezdemir. I like $7,600. You need a couple underdogs. I think he's solid at $7,600. You're right, he is low volume, but he's a tough guy. He's got heavy hands, really good takedown defense. He's got the better level of competition. He has fought better people.
And
obviously, Gustafson's an all-timer, but Gustafson, not when he fought Nikita Krylov. So I like Oezdemir. You like Krylov, and I'm not saying Oezdemir dominates. My bigger issue is I think this line is a little crazy. I think this
Does fighting good people matter if you don't beat them?
Let me pull up his record. He has beaten good people. He has beaten better people than Nikita Krylov. First
of
all,
Latifi.
Okay.
He won a
did
split
Nikita
decision
Krylov
versus
beat
Rocket.
Paul Craig? I'm trying to remember. Did Nikita Krylov beat Paul Craig? No.
Oh, wow. You're going to play the MMA math game. Okay.
I am. He beat Alexander Racic.
DC. He lost to Anthony Smith.
He beat Alexander. He beat Alexander Racic when he was
Ankalaev.
12-1. Yeah, this is what I thought.
He lost to Kelly Nunenson.
That's what I thought.
I mean, who's the last person to lose? I mean, Kelly and Nunenson. I mean, we all remember Crossface.
I managed Kelly for a little while, actually.
We all remember Crossface from Reno, Nevada. He had his big wins against Felipe Lenz.
I managed him for just a very small period of time when he was at American Top Team, and just
what fight did you get him?
Fights. Got him a couple fights. I got to check.
Let's see what fight.
I honestly have to look it up. It's been years. Hold on.
Palmetto Boxing Promotions, Lions FC, Fight Time 12.
We're going
Bellator.
12 years. 12 years. It was a Bellator fight. Hold on.
Well, he fought Volkan in Bellator. So you might have gotten Volkan a loss. So you contributed to one of these. You believe in Volkan, and you contributed to one of the losses for the fighter that you are picking. Jury and judge, I rest my case.
Just shut up. Talk about DraftKings while I look this up, because now I'm curious. Ma'am.
Yeah, Krylov's probably in my line. Let me check it. $8,600, probably good value. Let me check. He's not in my lineup. This is actually lineup that I'm looking at right now. I'm not sure if it's actually my lineup. I don't remember setting this lineup because I feel like Krylov is pretty good value, but he's not in there. Right now I have TJ, Dobson, Islam, Mokaev, Gadzhi, and Petrosyan. He's not in my lineup. I feel like he's pretty good value though.
$8,600. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
You're the one that said that if he wins, he's probably gonna get a finish. So.
And he will likely get finished in a loss as well, because that's his thing too. Loves getting finished. Loves it. 64-57 in Monkey Knife Fight. What do you think?
Less, more maybe, but probably less. I guess I don't know. It's hard telling. Chris is getting sneaky with those lines.
He is getting sneaky with the lines, which is why I prefer Knockout Kings for Monkey Knife Fight. So if you don't know what Monkey Knife Fight is, it's daily fantasy. All you do is say more or less on strike lines. Frankly, I've been staying away unless those lines are like stupid bad, which they have not been. I prefer the Knockout Kings. You pick any three fighters. If one of them wins by KO or TKO, you get paid. Two, you get paid even more. Three, you get paid a fortune, but that would be stupid because if you can pick three people on a card that are going to win by knockout, just bet them on a gambling site, not a prop bet. Or daily fantasy. But anyway.
I would choose Caitlin Chukagian, Bilal Muhammad. Get it? Because those are people that suck.
Jesus Christ. You're typical Jacob. Anyway, weonpicks.com/MKF. You want to sub for Monkey Knife Fight. They'll instantly match your deposit. And I encourage you to check out premium membership. Weonpicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member. You get bets, fantasy information, picks, everything. The minute we do it, you can link it with your Discord so you can get instant alerts to your phone. And we are constantly adding features, constantly adding functionality. Josh is the web guy. We are trying to figure out how to get you guys on the show. So we're trying to figure out a way where premium members can almost call in or show up on the show.
Here. I'll put your number. I'm going to put Angelo's number in the chat. Everyone who wants to call in can FaceTime him.
And I'll just hold it to the screen. No, but we're trying to figure that out. We're just trying to add more and more for premium members. It's $10 a month, and we're gonna, it's already the best value in MMA just with the amount of stuff you get, and we're literally never gonna touch that price point. You really put my number in there,
right?
That's not great.
I think that we can trust the chat. I think that is fine. Unless Sean V sees it.
Which one of these dorks do you think is the first one to be like, is this Angelo? Because it's always a dork at first, always.
Your voicemail, hello, you have reached
and then
Angelo
then it's a penis pic for sure. Right after it. First is the dork, like, hello, hee hee, giggle, hang up. Then dick pic.
Then it's Sean V. Hey, Angelo, just sitting in the bathtub.
That's not his voice. You think that Muppet has a voice like that? Absolutely not.
Start over. Sitting in the bathtub, eating my mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, that's probably.
Mom made mac and cheese, Angela.
I've never seen somebody crave more negative attention in my entire life. It's embarrassing.
It is weird.
Anyway, next up at UFC 280, we have Makhmud Muradov taking on Caio Baralho. We've talked about Caio Baralho a few times on this fight card. He has beaten everybody at 185 that he's even looked at in the UFC, and we'll see what happens in this fight. But Makhmud Muradov is 25-7 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that loss to Gerald Meerschaert. Caio Baralho, 12-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He's got 4 wins in the UFC. I like Caio Baralho here. I love Caio Baralho here. He's just proving he can do whatever he wants to do to basically anybody. He's beaten strikers. He's beaten other grapplers. Not only is he taking people down, but he's dominating. He's dominating. Like, he's a Brazilian who wrestles like a Russian and then grapples like a Brazilian. Like, it's incredible what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
In the middleweight division, he is as good of wrestler and grappler as Darren Till is at striking. I mean, and when you look at the 185 division, you see the top striker in Darren Till in that division, and I think those guys eventually are going to fight for the title probably at the end of next year, because I do think that Caio is that good. He can be. I mean, the way that he's beating people and convincingly beat people.
Oh, dominating.
I mean, he could be a title shot by the end of next year, literally in that division that's already pretty stacked with people and a lot of contenders in that division. I think that he is that good, and it's going to come down to every single fight is going to be, is this the guy that can beat Caio? Can this guy beat Caio? And Muradov on the feet can beat Caio, right? If he is able to somehow keep this fight standing, he is wild enough and powerful enough that he is definitely going to have a live puncher's chance on the feet versus Caio. But the second this hits the mats, I mean, that's like trying to stand and bang with Darren Till. You're going to get, if you stand in front of Darren Till, you're going to get knocked out. If you go to the ground with Caio, it's bad news. You're going to get controlled for 15 minutes or get submitted. So I'm Caio all the way. And if he loses, I think he's going to be the big parlay buster. If he somehow loses, that's going to be. I think a lot of people will love the value at Caio.
I agree, because I think Caio is definitely the best 2-1 favorite on the card. The best. Right. Like there's nobody, but we have talked about other 2-1 fighters being like, it's a little.
Gamrot's
who's a better 2-1 fighter?
Gamrot's right up there too. The odds are about the same. Gamrot's right up there too. I'm biased. No,
Gamrot is probably the best 2-1 fighter on the card, but Gamrot has a much tougher opponent than Caio does. So at 2-1, Caio's got the best path. Makhmud Muradov, solid boxer, good kicks, all that stuff. He had 80% takedown defense, but Gerald Meerschaert took him down 3 times, and I get it. Gerald Meerschaert's not as bad as we like to make him out to be, but his takedowns are not good. You got taken down 3 times by Gerald Meerschaert, and you knew that was the only thing he wanted to do, so you were prepared for that. You still couldn't stop it. Caio Baralho's going to take you down.
Yeah, the issue of that was Muradov was basically like punching himself out. He kept knocking Meerschaert down like over and over. He basically like punched himself out and then was so tired. But I agree. I mean, that came easy too. Once Muradov got tired, that was easy and a quick submission for Gerald Meerschaert. And the same thing could happen in this fight. Success, maybe early on the feet, withstand it, and the second he gets tired, I mean, look for a quick finish for Caio.
Yeah, and Kim, you can just boot that Alex Jeffrey dude. You're a mod now, and you don't have to let people talk to you like that.
Yeah, I get him out of
there. I mean, you can just put him in timeout. Maybe he just thought he was being funny. You give him a second chance, or you can kick him. I don't care, but that's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, so we're both on the Caio side. I think we both think he dominates. If I don't have a money line on him, I honestly should. And these odds have not moved as much as I thought they would, frankly.
I have been Yeah, I have him in my parlay. I had that 3-fight parlay that I absolutely love with Magomed. I got Magomed, Mokaev, and Caio for plus 100, which basically tells you I got Caio for plus 100 because Magomed was, in my mind, was going to win that fight. Mokaev obviously is a big favorite. I got him at minus 725, not minus 1200. But I got those three for plus 100. So the odds are going to change a little bit. It's probably going to be minus money at this point, but it still brings that Caio value down. If you stack Caio in a parlay, like a big heavy favorite parlay, you can get really good value, and pretty much it just ends up being his fight. So
it's funny. The odds went the other way. I got Caio Borralho 2 units at minus 200. Now he's minus 191.
That's surprising.
Let me just check the actual Bet Online website.
Yeah, he opened at minus 200. It ballooned all the way to minus 250 at one point, 270 at one point after the odds opened, and it's been coming down from 250 down to
he's minus 191.
So they're definitely moving in the right direction. So if you want to play Caio, it might be worth it to wait a couple days.
It'll probably hover around here, I would assume. If it opened here and ended up back here, it'll. That's what'll happen. And weigh-ins are always interesting. But anyway, we're both pretty high on Caio. I think $9,000 is great value. Jeremy Mearshart's taking him down and submitting him. Caio Borralho's taking him down.
If you have a tattoo that says "fight or die,"
what does his neck say? The Spirit.
Free Spirit.
Free Spirit.
It's the most aggressive hippie tattoo in the entire world. Free Spirit. Free Spirit. With that text too, it's not even like elegant text, like free spirit.
It's like written
free
in
spirit.
Yeah, it's like written
like
in
he did it with
text.
a knife one night. Free spirit. I love you, Caio. I love you, Caio.
Anyway, I'm gonna spend that $9,000 for DraftKings. 75 to 55. I think it's a less. I think it's absolutely a less. I think it's 90% grappling, and he's either hanging on for dear life the whole time because he's getting cracked, or he gets a submission. So I think this is a less with Monkey Knife Fight. What do you think?
I'll agree with you.
All right. Well, wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up, make your deposit. They'll instantly match that deposit. So if you give them $100, they'll give you $100. You give them 20, they'll give you 20. This seems like a solid less strike line. Throw $10 at it and you can win 25. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. wewantpicks.com/MKF. We're not even on the main card. Next up at UFC 280, we have Belal Muhammad taking on Sean Brady. Battle of the Grapplers. Belal Muhammad 21-3 overall, 4-0-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that dominant grappling win over Vicente Luque. Sean Brady 15-0. I'm gonna have to mute you or some shit.
Yeah, I would kind of hope you do because I'm not gonna be able to hold myself in. Belal Muhammad is the most overrated fighter. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, Sean Brady undefeated, 15-0. He's coming back after a year away. Coming off that win over Michael Chiesa, that was the best plus 3.5 bet I ever did in my entire life. I broke it down perfectly. The bet hit. Basically said Sean Brady's going to win the first 2 rounds, lose the 3rd round. I bet it that way, and that's exactly what happened. I made some money. And that fight is why I think Belal Muhammad could win this fight. Let me preface that. I think Sean Brady's the better overall fighter.
Are you seeing the chest hair? Because remember I told you about chest hair.
Yep, you said if there is no back hair. He has back hair. Yeah, you were very clear. I think Sean Brady's the better overall fighter. I think Sean Brady, he's definitely got better jiu-jitsu. I think the wrestling is he might be the better actual wrestler, but Belal goes to it more. And Sean Brady's the more powerful striker. Bilal's got no power whatsoever. I think Belal Muhammad wins this fight because I think he is just going to be diving at legs every second of this fight. I don't think he's going to give Sean Brady a chance. And typically when you get grappler versus grappler like this or wrestler versus wrestler, it's whoever shoots first. And Belal Muhammad's going to shoot first. And often. And he's just nonstop going to be doing that. He's done that in every fight he's ever been in. This isn't going to be any different. So that's the only reason I think Belal wins. Skill for skill, I think they're pretty close, but Sean gets the edge. Straight up fight, I think Bilal's diving at ankles the entire time. So I think Belal wins. What do you think?
I think, and I would say, I'm pretty impartial, right? Yeah. I mean, I am a little bit biased in the fact that I cannot stand Belal Muhammad as a fighter. as a person, as a commentator, I think he's funny. He's a good dude. As a fighter, I can't stand the guy. I think that at the end of the first round, Belal is going to go back to his corner. And he's going to look at Khabib. And he's going to look at Khabib, and he's mentally going to break down. I think he's going to start crying. And he's going to look at Khabib and basically look at and say, what do I do? I don't know what the hell is going on in there. I'm losing the scrambles. I'm losing the striking. My nose is broken. Khabib, you got to tell me what to do, baby. What are we doing in there? And Khabib's going to look at him and say, I can't help you, brother. I cannot help you. We are too far gone at this point in your career. I taught you everything I could. We had a nice little 3-4 week camp. There's nothing I can do for you in this situation. You got to go out there and act tough. And I think Belal at that point might stand up and walk out the octagon. That literally, and that might sound biased. It might sound crazy. I literally think that at the end of the first round, Belal Muhammad might be getting beat so bad by the dynamic, dominant Sean Brady that he will walk out and quit on the stool, walk out of the octagon, and we might not ever see him again. Unbiased, and that's as impartial as I can be.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like El Prez rating Jack's Pizza. Just very honest. Very honest.
Belal's a good guy. I like Belal. I'm just saying that in this fight, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad.
Well, I mean, there's no point in trying to convince you otherwise. So you guys heard my breakdown and why I feel that way. I do think Sean Brady's probably the better skilled fighter.
The least dangerous fighter in the entire world. You put me in an octagon versus anyone. I am more dangerous at that point than Belal Muhammad has ever been inside of an octagon. There is zero danger. Sean Brady's going to be able to do whatever he wants in there. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's going to play his game, take his time, do what he needs to do, and absolutely destroy the most overrated fighter in the UFC. Belal, remember the lame Muhammad.
You're such a dork. You were so excited to have Remember the Lame.
I thought about it earlier today in Discord, and I loved it. Actually, I think it was last night, and I was very proud of it. # remember the lame.
I think, what do most people say? Remember the decision or something? I think I've seen that one.
That's pretty
I think I've seen that one all over Twitter. Anyway, so obviously Jacob and I are split. Jacob's got some real hate in his heart over this fight, but I think Belal's just going to be diving at legs.
And if you want to see my live reaction, I will go live right before this fight for the entire main card Saturday. So tune in. And I cannot wait. And if you want to show up and say I told you so, it ain't going to happen. But, Sean Brady's going to win this fight.
I don't think so. DraftKings is straight up even money, and I think you need to have one of these guys in there. Because whoever wins is going to rack up control time. I do not think, sometimes like, oh, you get 2 grapplers and end up striking. I don't think that doesn't happen. Sorry, that does happen. I mean, that's not going to happen in this fight.
If Sean Brady wants to just strike, then they'll just strike. I mean, he'll just stuff some takedowns and then start striking with this dude. The guy that can't throw a punch was getting destroyed by Leon Edwards. I mean, Leon Edwards was about to expose this guy so bad. I mean, so bad that you were never going to hear about Belal Muhammad ever again if Leon Edwards got 25 minutes with this dude. That's how bad that fight was about the head. And now you're fighting Sean Brady, the undefeated. I mean, look at this dude. This is a Philly dude, jiu-jitsu black belt with the striking, the wrestling. You want to fight this dude? Good luck.
Okay. One of these men should be in your DraftKings lineup. This is, somebody said it in the comments, I said it in Quick Picks, very similar to what we saw with Maximov and Malkoun. You just got to pick your side and hopefully on the right side. Granted, there was a knee injury that it was a little different. But what triggered the knee injury? Just Malkoun immediately shooting shots, wasting no time, just immediately started grappling. He was cracked, got a little wobbled, but didn't stop him.
Got a little wobble, he's got sat down completely. His little wobble was, it fell backwards.
And he still got a takedown. How embarrassing is that for Max?
That was a little embarrassing.
Yeah. So anyway, I see the same with Belal minus the knockdown. He's just going to start diving at legs instantly, so pick your side. I'm not going to try to convince you. 76 to 74, no. Under for Monkey Knife Fight. There's not going to be that many punches. It's going to be a lot of grappling. Grappling.
It'll be whatever fight Sean Brady wants it to be.
So yeah, WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It's only $10 a month. You get all of our picks. We're giving you some picks now. We'll even do a betting video on Friday. We'll give you some of the bets there, but it's not all of them. And it's not when we place them. And usually we're ahead of the line movement. It's $10 a month. Jesus, Mary. One decent bet covers many, many months of premium membership. And shout out to Jacob for his lock of the week. If you put one unit, if you don't know what it is, he picks an underdog on every card. And some cards you're basically cursed. Last week, only 2 underdogs on the whole card won.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to pick a Sun Sao, and I definitely wasn't going to pick Malkoon. So, what was I supposed to do? I did my best.
I hear you. I'm on your side there. Anyway, it's an underdog he picks on every single card. If you bet one unit every week on his lock of the weeks, since we've been keeping track of it, you'd be up 22.7 units.
I'm
so congratulations
good.
to you.
I'm that good. I really am. Every time I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror. First one, I think, how did I get so goddamn good looking? I mean, I don't think it should be fair that I am.
I've seen the before pictures, and this is definitely a dramatic improvement.
And then, check out the Instagram, by the way. Yeah, check out the Instagram, by the way.
Okay, settle down.
And then
honestly, it's like you like literally post thirst trap. It's so fucking
check it out.
Weird to me.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the promotion.
It is, and they are.
I'm a single dude. I'm not supposed to. I'm a single. I am a single dude. I am a single dude. What am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Jesus, I'm supposed to not put the pizza out there.
Oh, I mean that's a kid's cut from Subway. That's that slice of pizza. Anyway, we're done with this.
They sell pizza at Subway?
They do. It's awful. $1.99. I've never had it, but like we go to Subway and my daughter's like, I want pizza. $1.99 from Ganja Express. Brady looks like CM Punk's PED nephew. That's pretty solid, actually. Bilal, lock of the week.
Did you get scared when you saw all the capital letters again? You're like, PED. Is that supposed to be?
Ped
nephew.
Double G. All right, let's move on. Main card. Next up.
Speaking of overrated fighters.
Next up at UFC 280, we have the main card opener. We have Katlyn Chookagian taking on Manon Fiorot. Katlyn Chookagian 18-4 overall, 4-1 in her last 5, and she is riding a 4-fight win streak with a nice new UFC contract. Manon Fiorot 9-1 overall, 5-0 in her last 5 with 4 wins in the UFC. This is a tricky fight because I think Manon Fiorot is the better fighter. She should win. She's the pick. But Katlyn Chookagian has proven time and time again that she can win close decisions. That's what she does. She comes stomping forward, yelling tennis noises, and just wins these close decisions. And Manon should hit harder. She should have, honestly, even better volume, even though Katlyn's a high-volume fighter. Manon should have better volume, hit harder. She's definitely got better takedowns. She's the more complete fighter overall. But Katlyn Chookagian knows how to sneak out these super close, sneaky decisions. Her only 2 losses in 4 years have been to Jessica Andrade, former champion, hits like a freight train, and Valentina Shevchenko, current champion, one of the best to ever do it.
And Vivian Rougeau. And Amanda Ribas.
But that's, you're playing into my point. You're playing into my point. My point is she just somehow knows how to win those close fights.
She knows how to pay off judges.
Then she may do it again.
Now
here
there is no betting on the UFC anymore.
So Manon Fiorot is my pick. I think Manon Fiorot wins. I am not going to bet against Katlyn Chookagian in a fight like this. She's just proven time and time again she can win these. So I'm not going to bet her. I'm not going to bet against her. Only, have you ever seen Life Goes On?
Life goes on.
Yeah.
Long after the thrill of living
bet.
Is gone.
That's not the song that I'm
life
talking
goes
about.
On. Little ditty about Jack and Diane. Do you know who that is? That's Indiana's own, baby.
Okay. Please
John
go ahead
Cougar
and do it
Mellencamp,
right
baby.
John
Cougar Mellencamp. So we have Bilal Muhammad, the most overrated fighter in the UFC, the second most overrated fighter in the UFC, and this person I can't stand almost personally as well. I don't know, for whatever reason. So I am biased in this pick. Last pick, if you couldn't tell, I was biased, right? I'm going to pick Sean Brady all the way. I do have a wild hate parlay with Fiorot and Sean Brady, because I hate both Caitlin and Bilal, so my picks are biased. Don't listen to what I'm saying. But Caitlin is the most overrated fighter. She does not land a punch. She doesn't land punches. I will give her credit. The Jennifer Maia fight, I was like, okay.
Forward.
Right. That was a fight where she looked like an actual fighter. So I will give her credit on that. But then she came back against Amanda Ribas and won one of the worst decisions I've ever seen, throwing fake punches, standing at range, doing not landing a single punch, tricking judges into decision when she's not going to be able to do it in this fight. She finally has somebody that can match that range. So when she's trying to keep that distance and she's trying to play her point fighting, Manon can play that same game but play it much more technical and much more powerful. I think Manon is going to find the shots that she needs to destroy that face of just looking at her right now, I can't stand the way that she even looks right now. I can't wait for her face to get absolutely. I can't wait for her face to get absolutely changed by Manon. That's what Khabib said he was going to do to Conor. I'm going to change his face. That is what Manon will do to Caitlin Chookagian, and I can't wait to see it. We have a big hate parlay, and we can't wait.
Not we, you.
We together, because I need a little bit of a loan situation. I need you to co-sign with my bookie.
Can you get an advance? Can I get an advance on my We Want Picks money, please?
Become a premium member and check it out.
Yeah. That's why Jacob started slinging premium membership. Frankly, I think Manafaro wins. I mentioned it, but I just can't bet against Caitlin Chookagian. I just can't.
It's pretty easy.
She just finds a way to win. She's smart. She's busy enough. For some reason, the judges love. Even though she's not landing, she's throwing such incredible volume, and they love it.
And her
her
corner plays the game too, because they are also the corner where you're a great shot and stuff. So they literally have it planned out how to trick judges into winning fights. It's the most ridiculous thing. And hats off to them. Honestly, it's a good game plan, because if you're not a good fighter, which she is not a good fighter, you got to find other ways to win. And tricking judges is an avenue, and they've been successful at it.
Okay, well, Caitlin, if you're watching this on Twitter where we post these, I don't feel that way. I think you're very good, and I just think, man,
you saw her at New York, and
just a touch better.
And you got a little scared. You panicked a little bit. You couldn't say hi.
I wasn't positive it was her, but I was talking on the phone. I was outside of a restaurant.
That's not how I heard. I heard that you panicked. You were like, Caitlin.
I was on the phone talking to my wife, standing outside a restaurant, and this is the phone. And she walked by. I was like, "Is that Caitlin Chookagian?" And she had a duffel bag. I think a Henzo Gracie. It's like, "Oh, that is." So it was.
And you went, Caitlin.
No, I didn't say anything. Very, very pretty in real life. Very pretty in real life.
Well, she's about not to be. So you better soak it in now, because her face is about to change, people.
$7,300 to $8,900. The problem with Caitlin Chookagian at $7,300, while I do think, I don't think she wins. I do think she could squeak something out. She doesn't score well in wins. She just doesn't score well. It's a bunch of jabs, bunch of noises, and a decision where she didn't always land more strikes. Not really any takedowns. So, I wouldn't touch her in DraftKings. I'm not touching Manafaro in DraftKings either. No way. Are you? I know you hate Caitlin's guts, but yeah, there it is. That's
I'm a little. Let me just say there's better value around that price point. I think it's great value. I mean, she's probably gonna get a 10-second knockout, but. There's probably better value with takedowns,
Okay. 81 to 88 monkey knife fight strike line. I think it's probably a more. I do think there's a million punches thrown. Their strike rate is ridiculously high. The only thing that could screw it up is Manon grapples. What was her average is almost 2 takedowns per fight. So she can get those takedowns and then sort of take some of the volume away from Caitlin, but Caitlin's a gamer, game planner, so I think it's probably more with monkey knife fight. What do you think?
Unfortunately, I think I do agree.
All right, well, weonpicks.com/MKF if you want to play that monkey knife fight strike line. Those lines do move, so if you like one, hit it as soon as you see it. They'll instantly match your deposit. So if you give them $20, they'll give you 20. Give them 50, they'll give you 50. So check that out. Play these lines, but go to weonpicks.com/MKF to do it and use the free money. And speaking of free money, Brandon, $2 super chat. Did I mention how much I hate Victor Henry? I think we all do. And honestly, it's our own fault. I literally said in the Quick Picks video, he's a little inflated here. It's because
I didn't think he had a shot. Or I didn't think Rafael had a shot.
Yeah, listen, I fell into the trap, so I'm not going to pretend I was better than anybody. I literally put him in the safety parlay. But I was like, Rafael Sunsao, yeah, he lost 4 in a row, but look who he lost to. Those are quality losses. And then I was like, Victor Henry beat Hani Barcelos, and Hani Barcelos just looked like a world champion, but he looked like trash in the Victor Henry fight. So, anyway.
But Rafael in those losses didn't even look, to me, he looked slow. That was a very surprising fight.
Yeah, and he did it over 3 rounds, too. Didn't even get lucky. Didn't just get it. Just did it over 3 rounds. Just smoked that dude.
Victor Henry, afterwards was arm raised, smiling, I thought I did a great job. That's what kills me about today's youth, Angelo. There's no competitive spirit at all. You've played me at anything. You're going to lose, and I'm going to let you know that you lost because I am a real competitor.
Next up, at UFC 280, we have Beneil Dariush taking on Mateusz Gamrot. Beneil Dariush, 21-4 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 7-fight win streak. Mateusz Gamrot, 21-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off a main event win over Armen Tsarukyan. Gamrot is one of my most confident bets, one of my most confident picks. I think he absolutely smokes Beneil Dariush. I think Gamrot is phenomenal. He's pretty good everywhere, but clearly a phenomenal grappler. He looked good in that Armen Tsarukyan fight. Granted, Armen had his moments. I think Gamrot started to take over as the fight went on. That was a 5-rounder. This is a 3-rounder. That is a little bit of a factor, but Beneil Dariush hasn't fought in forever. Beneil Dariush has supposed to gotten 6 title shots, never got them. I feel bad for the guy. He went from should have gotten a bunch of title shots to gonna lose this fight, start over. But Beneil Dariush, he's got some power in his hands. He can grapple, but he's not going to out-grapple Gamrot. He's not going to stop those takedowns. He's just going to get pummeled into oblivion. 2-unit bet on Gamrot. That's about as clear and concise as I can be.
I keep screaming this, but I think it's important for people to understand that the next level of lightweights they have arrived, and this is the real light. If you want the real lightweight rankings, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, but this is what it is. The best lightweight in the entire world is Damir Ismagulov. There's no doubt about that. Damir is the best lightweight in the world. The second best lightweight in the world is Gamrot. He is the second best lightweight in the world. The third one is Garam, who beat Gamrot. That's his only loss, split decision win, and Garam lost to Damir. So you see those 3 at the top. Boom, 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 boom. The fourth is Islam, who we'll get to. The fifth is Charles Oliveira. The 6th is Armen Tsarukyan. So you got Armen, and then those 3 I mentioned. Gamrot is the absolute real deal. He will be the next champ at 155. Whoever wins between Islam and Charles, I believe Gamrot will fight them and beat either one of them. He is that good. I am biased. He is my dude. I do love Gamrot. I had him picked against Armen. The fact that he was a 2-1 underdog versus Armen was just asinine. The same way the fact that Damir Ismagulov is a 2-1 dog versus Armen is ridiculous. Armen will be a guy eventually. He's too young now, but Gamrot is the dude right now. He's going to dominate this fight, and he's going to become the champion. Going to be Islam or Charles, whoever wins that fight Saturday.
I'm not going to get into your rankings. I do agree that of those guys, like the Gamrots, the Damir, the Tsarukyan, they're not getting the credit. They're not getting the credit that they should. Like those guys smoked Dustin Poirier. Every single one of those guys.
And Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler too. It's bad.
And Gadzhi's the only one that I would say could hang because his chin is so good, and he was like an actual.
But they can all out wrestle. Yeah, but they can all out. They can still all out wrestle.
I was to say he's a legitimate wrestler, but we saw Khabib had no problem with that. But anyway, so we're both on the Gamrot side. We both think he just absolutely punishes Beneil Dariush. I feel bad for Dariush. Like I said, man, that guy 7-fight win streak should have gotten a title shot. This is like the Tony Ferguson tripped over the power cable all over again. But poor Beneil.
And the best, the raps that puts a bow on it is this whole time he thought he was the backup for the main event that he's fighting on. And then 4 days ago, Volkanovski's like, I'm the backup. And Dariush's like, I thought I was the backup. And they're like, you're not the backup. We got this guy here, the champ to be a. And it's like, oh, I thought I was the backup.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I genuinely feel bad for the guy because I think he had some injuries in the mix, but a lot of the fact that he hasn't fought in a while is literally because he was waiting for. He thought, oh, after this fight, I'll get a title shot, and unfortunately,
don't forget
he's about to get pounded on.
Yeah, and he was basically put out by Jakar Close as well. He was out of that fight, was down and out, pretty much knocked out, and all of a sudden found this wild shot that knocked out Jakar. So he was getting beat up pretty bad in that fight versus Jakar. I think this is kind of the same way. He's had a nice run, but he's not invincible, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I hear you. $8,800 in DraftKings, probably. Well, definitely worth it. I just got to look at mine, see if I can squeeze them in because it's a couple expensive guys that I like, but I think this is easy pickings.
People are saying that Gamrot shouldn't get a title shot because he's about to beat Dariush, number 3 or number 4 dude in the division. Of course he can get a title shot after this. There's nobody left for Charles to fight if he wins because he's beat everyone else. And Islam, I guess he could go through and fight like Dustin or Chandler again, but I don't
they
think
will do that.
that.
They will do that. They because those guys are cash cows.
But Charles wins. Who's he going to fight? He's beat everyone else.
They'll run it back with somebody. They also all dropped him. They literally also all dropped him. So just show that highlight, and then
Well, I think they put Gamrot on the same card to show him off. So if Charles wins, they can make that fight, Charles and Gamrot. That's what I believe.
Oh yeah, and Lucky Tim said Dana White literally said Volkanovski fights the winner no matter what.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they just said
after that
yesterday.
And Volkanovski feels a little too small for those dudes.
Yeah, and there's some Connor in the mix as well. Agreed. That bum will show up. Oh, hey, whoa,
no, he's gonna fight for. No, he's not at 155 anymore. He's at 170.
Oh yeah, 70.
Because Jorge, or not Jorge, but Leon was like, if Connor wants to fight, we can fight. And if you're Leon, you take that 10 out of 10 times. You get paid. You beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we agree on pretty much everything here. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line 70-72. I'm not going to play it. There's so many questions here. Beneil hasn't fought in forever. He does have power in his hands. Gamrot could take him down, put him away. Or he could just take him down. It could be a 3-round war. I don't know. I'm not touching the strike line as much as I want you to use the promo code so we can make a couple of dollars. I'm not going to do it. Not for this fight at least. But if you want to spend a couple bucks, did you know for only 33 cents a day, Jacob, you could become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com? 33 cents a day.
It's not bad.
Did you know that?
I didn't know. And then do you remember when we talked about that early in the stream, Angelo?
My mind is slipping.
My mind's telling me no.
Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. It's $10 a month. That's 33 cents a day. Bets, picks, DraftKings optimizer, anything you could ever need to make some money and have some fun watching these fights. WeWantPicks.com. There's a button at the top. Click. Become a member. Next up, at UFC 280, we have one of the more controversial fights on the card. Petrosyan taking on Sean O'Malley. Petrosyan, former champion, 16-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and those 2 losses in his last 5 were to Aljamain Sterling. A couple of controversial results. Some people thought he won the last one, and the first one was an absolute joke. Sean O'Malley, 15-1 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off the eye poke no contest with Pedro Munoz. Listen, I think Petrosyan wins. I think Petrosyan dominates this fight. I think he's the better striker. He obviously is the better grappler. The first time he fought Aljamain Sterling, he took him down 7 times. Just decided to shoot no takedowns the second go-around, which, makes no sense. I don't know why he didn't do that. I think at this point, everybody, just take Sean O'Malley down, light up his legs if you want to. Multiple people have had success. I'm not even just going off the Cheeto Vera thing. Multiple people have had success touching Sean O'Malley's legs. And frankly, I saw people arguing over the Pedro Munoz fight. It is literally a fact. 2 out of 3 judges gave Pedro Munoz that first round. It's a fact that Pedro Munoz won that first round. A fact. It's not an idea. It's not an argument. That is what happened.
And it was just leg kicks. Scientific fact.
It is, and that's just what it was. It was just leg kicks. And my only concern, there's 2 concerns here. One is Petrosyan takes the first round off. Everybody knows that. And the second is Sean O'Malley is long. He's a very good striker in his own right, and he does use his range well.
So is the freckled salamander.
And it's possible that he can use his range and keep Petrosyan away. That is possible. I just don't see it happening. I don't think it matters. And the round off thing, hold on. The round off thing almost doesn't matter because Sean O'Malley took the first round off in his last fight. Of course I will. Of course I will. Anyway, Purging wins. Purging dominates. Very, 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 very confident. Do I think what?
Do you think that Sean has a knockout chance?
I think Sean has very well-timed strikes and that really solid pinpoint accuracy.
Just answer the question. Yes or no. Does he have a knockout chance?
I want to say yes because everybody does, but who's knocked out Purging?
Well, to speak on that point, I asked you the question because I'm a big Sugar fan, right? I like Sugar. I'm going to be rooting for him this fight. I got nothing against Purging, but I'm going to be rooting for the underdog in this fight. I think it'd be crazy to see him win. I don't think he's got a shot in hell. I mean, I even have a money line bet on him that I got, a few months ago at plus 370. I don't mind that value at plus 370. I mean, he's at a plus 225 right now. So I got incredible value on him. And at the time, I thought he was a little bit more live. But the more I think about the fight and the more I see stuff coming out about Purging, and it looks like he's just been wrestling and wrestling and wrestling, I don't think Sean's got a chance in hell. Because when Sean knocks people out, he knocks people out that obviously are not on the level of Purging, but knocks people out when he's hitting them clean. Right? When he hits people clean, he can knock anyone out, right? If he hits them clean. You cannot hit Purging clean. You cannot hit him clean. He fights with that high guard. You can't, maybe he can punch through the guard and maybe he's like sneak a shot in there to stun him. I know that Purging's been knocked down before, but like with that high guard, I just don't see him landing a clean shot. When he can't land that clean shot, he can't knock people out. And Purging can obviously win this fight in the wrestling. But if he wants to stand and just counter strike and box with Sean, I think he can do that too. I think he wins this fight no matter what, any way he wants. He's just on a next level, and I just don't think I don't think he's there. I don't know if he's ever going to get there, but I don't think he's there.
No, I completely agree. And Kenny Ash says, do you really think Jan's takedowns are that good? I don't. So here, let's go ahead and talk.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Purging took down Douglas Silva de Andrade 3 times in 2 rounds. Okay, and that dude's a monster and a grappler. Took down John Dodson twice. John Dodson, and this is in 2019. He took down Jimmy Rivera, who's a freaking tank. He took down Uriah Faber twice, who's not easy to take down. He took down Jose Aldo, who has Merab Davishvili couldn't take down Jose Aldo. Purging took him down. He took down Aljamain Sterling 7 times in their first fight and attempted 0 takedowns in the last one. So Kenny Ash, I see your name a lot. I appreciate you, but top 5 dumbest comments all day. You and I agree. Purging.
I think Purging gets a takedown in like the first 30 seconds, and it's Sugar on his back, just shelled up, and Purging just either finishing with a TKO early because we've seen Sugar on his back kind of, I don't want to say quit, but I mean. He's been a liability once he gets on his back, I would say. Or Piotr just plays with his food and just beats on him for 15 minutes. I don't think it's close. And I like Sugar, too. It pains. I'll be rooting for Sugar. I honestly don't think this fight is close.
Listen, I hear you. We're completely aligned. And Kenny, I'm obviously just joking, but completely aligned. $9,300 in DraftKings. That's the problem. There's so many guys at this price point that are worth the money. I don't know if he puts Sean away, right? I think
he can very easily TKO him.
He probably
ground
can.
Because Sean, once he's getting hit, he just there's no moving out of positions. There's no shrimping. There's no like threat for submissions to try and scramble back to your feet. It's just like the Conor versus Dustin, like oh shit, or Conor versus Khabib too, just like oh shit, I'm getting hit. What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, $9,300. Let's put it this way. He's definitely worth the money, but there's a few people at this price point that are worth the money. So it's just a matter of building your lineup and hopefully picking the right spots. Monkey knife fight strike line 81-62. I think it's a less. To your point, I do think it's a less because I think there will be some grappling in the mix because why wouldn't Purging grapple? He doesn't need to, but why wouldn't he?
I mean, this is a very dangerous matchup for him. I mean, because Sugar is a rangy guy. He's a guy way down in the rankings. Yeah. He's only ranked 12, so this puts Piotr back. I mean, Piotr is, again, if he wins this, now he's back in the title shot. He loses this, he's got a lot to give up. So I think he knows the danger, and he's going to play this smart, and he's just going to be boring. He's just going to wrestle and get his win and go fight for the title again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're completely aligned here. No
And
problems.
Sean's been playing. He's been live streaming. He's just been playing Call of Duty all week. I tuned in today. It's like 10 o'clock local there, and he's just playing Call of Duty. It's like I don't know. You may want to work on those takedowns.
I mean, I don't.
I understand. Maybe it's a distraction for the weight
yeah,
cut.
I was gonna say, I don't
like
judge
that, but
people
still.
on their fight week, for sure. But no, listen, I hear. Honestly, it's probably better for the division if Sean O'Malley wins. He's a stud. He's a superstar. He beat a good. Yeah,
I hope
it's
I'm wrong.
better across the board. I just don't see it happening. So, but Piotr, I guess best case scenario for the division is Sean O'Malley wins. Second best is it's a
Second
war.
base. That's a place I would love to get one day.
Second best is it's a war. Petrosyan wins. Third is Petrosyan just demolishes, just absolutely ruins, wrecks, destroys him, makes him look like a child so that he's back in title contention. If it's a close kind of boring fight or just a boring fight that Piotr wins, that's worst case. You want absolute destruction or an upset, essentially.
I think Sugar
So you can get excited
leaves
about the next fight.
Abu Dhabi with his tail between his legs. I think it's one of those like, oh shit,
With
like maybe Sugar's not
normal-colored
there
hair.
yet.
Yeah. Congrats to him for taking this fight, though, because he's been how vocal for years. Hey, you're not going to
Well,
pay me real
did
money.
you
I'm
hear
not
what
gonna fight real
happened?
people.
I was actually listening to. I think I heard an interview, or maybe I was watching his live stream. He was talking about it. He basically said, "I messaged Piotr kind of as a joke, just to kind of rile him up, like thinking like there's no way he's going to take the fight. I'm the 12th ranked fighter. You know, why would he fight me? So, and then Piotr was like, okay, let's fight. And he was like, I'm pretty sure that Piotr thought then I was not going to take the fight because like, you know, he's like the number one ranked guy in the world. Like, and I've been very vocal about, I don't want to fight, you know, whatever. So I think they were both, he was talking about like, I don't think Piotr thought I was serious and I didn't think he was serious. And now all of a sudden here we are. So.
Yeah, that is funny. And I actually like Sean O'Malley. He did that interview with MMA Guru, which good for MMA Guru, right? That's like, you know, good for him. That's a pretty cool podcast to go on. And good for him because he was like, yeah, I think you lose. But what's funny about that is, you know, he said, I think you lose. He said, you know, leg kick, some other stuff. And Sean O'Malley's like still bitching about that. I can't believe people think I'm going to. It's like, dude, you're fucking, grow up. And like you said, and we'll talk about it now, Aljamain Sterling arguing with strangers on the internet. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All week.
Next up at UFC 280, we've got Aljamain Sterling taking on TJ Dillashaw for the bantamweight world title. Aljamain Sterling 21-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 7-fight win streak into his second title defense. TJ Dillashaw is 17-4 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off that war with Corey Sandhagen. A lot of people didn't think he won that fight, but that was just an absolute drag-him-out war.
He did not win.
What I take away from that fight is TJ Dillashaw is a dog. He's a dog. You could beat his face in and he will just keep coming forward. He's not going to quit. He's not going to stop. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to get hurt. He's going to keep coming forward. I think TJ Dillashaw wins this fight. I love him at these odds. They've moved a little bit. I got him at plus 150, a money line bet. He's now plus 155, so not incredible movement. But he's the former world champion. He's beaten every name in the division for the most part. His only losses essentially are the announcer, Dominic Cruz, who's the best bantamweight to ever do it. And freaking when he went down to fight Henry Cejudo and he was sucked out and got cracked. I think TJ Dillashaw can out-wrestle Aljamain. Aljamain certainly is not going to submit TJ Dillashaw. Striking-wise, TJ Dillashaw is going to be the better striker. Speed could be an issue, and I'm thinking TJ will also be faster. He'll have better footwork. He'll have the higher fight IQ. I think TJ Dillashaw is better literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. And I just, it's blowing my mind that people are screaming Aljamain. The same people that are screaming Aljamain Sterling's going to dominate this fight are the same ones saying that he was going to get smoked in the last fight because Petrosyan smoked him in the first one. Makes no sense to me. I'm surprised TJ's not the favorite. All the steroid talk, just very quick thing before I hand it over here. All the steroid talk, I get it. Dude pissed hot and shouldn't do that. They went back and tested every single sample up to the RDA fight, and they were all clean. So it's not like, oh, he's been using it for years and blah, blah. So, yeah, that's the break. I think TJ Dillashaw wins this fight. Easily. Not easily, but
if you think I kind of do want to tally here because I'm very interested because things are pretty split usually on this fight. If you think that Aljo wins this fight, I need you to like the stream. I saw the like count. I know a lot of people have already liked it already, but I need to see how fast that jumps up because I know you guys listen to Angelo, right? And I know a lot of people are going to be disagreeing with Angelo because, let's be honest, a lot of times he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I agree with you guys. I am going to be the most impartial person to listen to on this fight because there is nobody that loves Aljo more than me. Angelo, correct? That's not being sarcastic.
You picked him to win the last fight.
I picked
your lock
him
of the
to
week,
win.
wasn't he?
I picked him. He wasn't. He should have been. But I picked him to beat Petrosyan in the first fight. He didn't win that fight. I told you guys that he was going to backpack Petrosyan in that second fight because he was able to get to the positions he needed in the first fight. And I knew if he got to those same positions in the second fight, he wasn't going to be worn down from a bad weight cut and he was going to be able to get the takedowns. And that's exactly what happened. So I listened to everyone all week tell me, oh, he's got no chance. Piotr's going to dominate. He's got no chance. And I defended Aljo all week and told you exactly what was going to happen in that fight, and that's exactly what happened. So, with that said, I love Aljo. He is my dude. I picked him to beat Petrosyan. He's not going to win this fight. He is not going to win this fight. I love Aljo to death. He is one-dimensional. He has no threat on the feet. He can strike, but he is pillow-fisted, one-dimensional. He has no power. TJ is the much better striker. And if he can't get the takedowns, we saw what happens. He could not get the takedowns in that Petrosyan fight, and he is like a lost puppy out there. It is going to be the exact same situation. I hate making this comparison. I hate it because I love Aljo, but he is essentially Belal Muhammad. If he cannot get the takedowns, and he's much more dangerous than Belal Muhammad on the ground, right? He is a submission threat. But if he cannot get the takedowns, he's kind of a lost puppy out there. He doesn't have the striking power. He does some weird stuff, but he has striking to get to the wrestling. And if the wrestling doesn't work, he's not going to win this fight. And I believe that he is not going to get the wrestling against TJ. And if TJ wants to offensive wrestle, he could have success there as well. TJ, I think this is going to be a mostly striking battle. And TJ is the better striker in a mostly striking battle. I am the unbiased opinion. You can listen to me. I hope I'm wrong. I don't like TJ. I love Aljo. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just saying right now, I don't think Aljo wins this fight.
You realize only one person has ever taken... so 2 people ever have taken TJ Dillashaw down. 2 people out of like 20 fights. I'm not counting how many fights there are here. There's a lot. Only 2 people ever. John Lineker took him down 1 time in that fight. TJ Dillashaw took John down 5 times. Dominic Cruz took down TJ Dillashaw. Nobody else. And he has fought. He fought Renan Barão. If you guys remember Renan Barão, dude was legit. Joe Soto, legit. Renan Barão, again, legit. He's fought some very good grapplers and wrestlers, and they couldn't take him down. But Aljamain Sterling's going to be the guy. He's now the greatest takedown guy in the world. I agree with you. I don't see it happening. I think TJ Dillashaw wins this fight. He never actually lost his title. He, did steroids. Right. But
and he, and to that point, the reason he was able to take Petrosyan down is because Petrosyan has that. I mean, he holds his hands like this, right? So when he's not afraid of Aljo striking, right? So Aljo would pillow fist in to that situation, and all of a sudden, I mean, he's right. I mean, the legs are right there. TJ is. I mean, he's one of those Dominic Cruz type dudes. He's in and out. He's bobbing, he's weaving, his hands are low. He's going to be there to defend the takedowns. Petrosyan's like this, so Aljo got to his legs and was able to get those takedowns. Even when he got to his legs in the first fight, he couldn't take him down. He got into deep singles and couldn't take him down in the first fight. TJ is all over the place with this movement. It's going to be a big problem.
Aljamain Sterling went 2 for 22 in takedowns versus Petrosyan. 2 for 22. Right. The dude attempted 22 takedowns and got most of those were he's
not.
He's going to take TJ Dillashaw down.
Well, no, and most of those were not like, I missed. A lot of those literally were deep singles against the cage. Okay, let me work from here, or maybe like, and he still could not get him to the ground.
All right, listen, I'm surprised we're aligned, but we are aligned.
I am too.
Here.
I love Aljo, man. I don't want him. I don't want this to happen, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, and plus the clips of TJ in training camp, he's just blast doubling through people. So I think he's going to take down Aljamain Sterling. I don't think he's going to worry about getting submitted. I think TJ dominates. So do you. I've got that money line bet on him at plus 150. It hasn't moved that much. I don't know if it's going to move after weigh-ins or what, but I'm surprised he's an underdog, let alone a plus 150. I'm surprised this isn't even money. You got to give the champ some credit, and he did just beat Piotr. $7,700.
Speaking of money.
He will absolutely be. I'll get there. I forgot about it. Thank you, actually. $7,700. He will absolutely be in my DraftKings lineup. And I do like the, I like the less more with Monkey Knife fight. I think TJ just pours it on him, gets on top, busy, on his feet, busy. And Aljamain's going to need to get takedowns to get to 105, and I don't think he will. $10 super chat from Make the Bookies Pay. And all he said was, make the bookies pay. We appreciate you. That's the goal here. We're all in this together.
He's that's a big supporter. He was in the live stream Saturday. He dropped over $100 donations in the live stream Saturday. So we're big fans of Make the Bookies Pay. We appreciate you, man.
No, 100%. And your screen name is perfect because we are all here for the same thing. Like some of you get nasty as hell in the live chat, and that's why we banned some people. But every single person here has the exact same goal.
I love you. You love me.
Okay.
We're a happy family.
Okay. We're all here for the exact same reason. We're all just trying to make $1 watching these fights, enjoy the fights, make some money. It's not us versus you guys. It's not you versus each other. It's not us versus other channels. We're all here just trying to do it, trying to make some money, trying to get it done. So Make the Bookies Pay. Very fitting name. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Everybody else, take your $10, go to WeWantPicks.com, become a premium member. You'll get all of our bets, all of our picks. The minute we place them, you'll get a DraftKings optimizers, player rankings, projected scores, all sorts of other
Oh, hell yeah.
Help make some money. WeWantPicks.com. Why'd you say
hell yeah? No, I mean, you got me riled out here and all that stuff I get. For how much? 33 cents a day? Oh, my God.
33 cents a day.
It's unbelievable.
I should add a payment option, 33 cents a day, and let people, although people would just sign up on a Saturday, get the bets, cancel, sign up next Saturday.
Slick sons of bitches.
Oh, they're weasels. Next up at UFC 280, we have the main event of the evening. We have Charles Oliveira defending his belt against Islam Makhachev. And actually, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. He's not defending his belt. They took that shit.
Well, you know what's going to be weird about this?
There is no champ here.
You know what's going to be weird about this? I don't think it's going to happen, but if this is like a close decision, they're going to say, and new, but you don't know who it is. They're going to say, and new, and then it's going to, I thought about that. I was like, oh, the crowd's going to go crazy, and then they're going to give it to Charles because it's going to be a new champion either way, technically.
Yeah, I completely forgot that, well, I didn't forget. I did it in quick picks, but right now I forgot they took the belt away. But it's funny because the UFC is using this graphic of him with the belt. That's the one they're using too. But
the champ has a name, and his name is Ryan Hall.
Okay. Anyway, Charles Oliveira, 33-8 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, riding an 11-fight win streak, and he's trying to get his title back. Islam Makhachev, 22-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, and he's riding a 10-fight win streak. You guys are split. The arguing is absolutely insane in the comment section. Actually, here was the Twitter argument that I saw. So these are the comments that I made.
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
I forget the exact phrasing I used, but I said something to the effect of Charles Oliveira is the most talented fighter in the division, but Islam Makhachev is the best fighter in the division. And somebody took the time to screen record both of those clips, put them together, tweet it.
It's probably in the chat right now.
Probably. I just couldn't imagine having that much time or care that much. But anyway, this person, real swim fan vibes going on there. And then people just couldn't wrap their head around that concept. How could you use the word best twice? It's listen to the words. Charles Oliveira, skill for skill, is the best guy. Skill for skill. He's got some of the best striking. He's got some of the best jiu-jitsu. He's got capable wrestling. Skill for skill. He's one of the most complete, most dangerous, one of the best guys in the division. Islam Makhachev has okay striking, insane wrestling, insane timing, insane control, and just the wrestling and the timing and the control is all he needs to win this fight and every other fight. Is he the better overall fighter? No. Is he the best fighter in the division? Yes. Islam Makhachev wins this fight.
Because he does what he does better by far than anyone else. So he has that 100%. Dominant aspect. So when you have that dominant aspect, that can wipe away a well-rounded 100%. Fighter. Yeah. So
Islam wins this fight. He wins it with wrestling and control.
Whoa!
What?
That's not going to go over very well.
Okay. Well, what's crazy about that? All of these people insisting this is the Armen Sarukian Joel Alvarez breakdown all over again. I picked the heavy favorite, Armen Sarukian, the heavy favorite, and the world came from my head. It's the same thing. That. Islam is the 2-1 favorite, and people are acting like he's a 10-1 underdog, and I'm saying ridiculous things. He's the favorite. If you guys actually felt as strongly as you pretend to, you would be betting money and the line would have moved. But you're not. You're just saying nonsense in the comments and in the live chat because the line's not moving. Islam's a heavy favorite, and it's for a reason. Jakey boy, go ahead before I get even more into it.
No, I will. Let me just say that I like both. I'm one of those rare people that like both because this is a very polarizing fight. You either are one way or the other, and you cannot understand how the other side can feel. I can see both avenues of this fight. I can see Islam coming in, wrestling, dominating that, controlling the fight. I can see Charles coming in, having success early with the hands, maybe win some scrambles, getting his back, threatening those positions. But I think the safe play for this fight, and I love Charles, and I love Islam, and I do have sprinkled money, and I'll talk about Charles for early in the fight. I really see when I imagine this fight and I lay down and I have my wet dreams about 280 and I think about this fight, I just keep picturing Charles in the third round more tired than you have ever seen him in his life. Because early, I think Islam's not going to mess around, right? He knows what Charles is capable of on the feet, and Islam knows he's not there. He's going to go for the legs. Charles is either going to try and defend the takedowns, which I don't think he's going to be able to, even if he tries, or he's going to go straight to the jiu-jitsu scrambles. And Islam has been grappling, sambo grappling his entire life. So when people think that it's just going to go to the ground and Charles Oliveira is going to throw up a triangle and get an arm bar and win a scramble, get his back and choke him out, it's going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. And in those scrambles, Islam has been going through those scrambles time and time and time again. And if even Charles fans, you have to admit, if this is going 4 or 5 rounds, you got to go with Islam for cardio, right? I mean, this dude has just shown time and time he's going to be nonstop. And Charles has had some early fights in these he's obviously the Tony fight win, whatever. But I'm just saying, Charles on his back, Islam on top is not what you want to see at all. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that this is a quick finish. I hope it's not a quick finish. I hope we get to see some striking and some grappling. But I see Islam riding this dude for 2 rounds, and then Charles no longer becomes a threat on his feet because he's too tired, can't defend the takedowns, and his submission threats are no longer there because he's too tired as well, and Islam grinds us out for the next 3 rounds. So I think Charles is very live in the first 2 rounds.
Of course. He's so dangerous. Of course he's live. He can do anything, anywhere, at any moment. Or, more likely, he's taken down, held down, and beat up off his back, and he's not going to catch Islam in a submission. That's the most likely outcome here.
Right.
And then everybody with the ridiculous comments. So Josh Saunders, the line has shrunk considerably. Okay, when it first opened, the very first minute it opened was July 16th. It opened at minus 240. Okay, so it's definitely, it shrunk a little bit.
Well,
right? That was...
No. I think he's a little bit right here because it opened at minus 300. It ballooned to minus 410.
Oh, I'm not seeing
minus
that
400.
Well, anyway, my point is
then it
the
went down
early...
to 225. Now it's... so
you can't go by the early. The early is just like they throw a line out there, they let it go wild. If you go to August 27th...
Well, from March to May, it was at minus 400.
March to May, that's just speculation bets. The fight wasn't even announced then. Those are literally just speculations. March to May, that's just speculation. Once
April
it was
flowers bring.
All right, shut up.
Or April. Oh,
Once it was officially opened at minus 240. If you go to August 27th, it was minus 155. It's now minus 192. And the point is, and then people are like, "Oh, Angelo, with your
The
half
line
unit bet,
has
you're not
shrunk
moving the."
considerably.
My overall
I'm with you.
point is, look at this. It was minus 300 before Charles defended. That's just speculation lines. Those are not real lines. You can't go by that. When it's a real line, that's what it meant.
Real lines here.
Okay. My overall point here is, if you look at the comment section, 90% of people are saying Charles. 90%. If 90% of people actually felt that way, the line would not look this way, even if you are only betting a half a unit, $10.
Yeah, do you know what the percentage of people on Tapology are picking Charles Oliveira? I'll give you a guess. What percentage do you think?
I bet it's like 40, some stupid, trendy bullshit.
Are picking Charles to win?
Yeah.
Angelo, it's 69% of people on Tapology have picked Charles Oliveira to win this fight. You know how crazy that is?
That is so stupid.
You know how crazy that is? Listen, I love Charles, and I have bets on him. I think he's live in the first or second rounds. I have first and second round specific bets. But to think that Islam, I just don't. Guys, you got to think clear. I know Charles has been looking great, even though he's been getting knocked down every single fight, basically. I know he's been looking great, and I know who he is. But this guy has lost 8 fights before. You just got to think rationally about this. Islam can just come in and just control the wrestling and be boring and just win that fight the way he's been winning. I know people are like, oh, he hasn't fought anyone. It doesn't matter, man. It does not matter. He can do whatever he wants in there. Think rationally, guys.
Well, and I'm not trying to we talked about it. Charles Oliveira can
Islam's been
absolutely win
KO'd.
this.
You're right. Wow.
Charles Oliveira can absolutely win this fight. He can absolutely snatch up a submission. He's done that many, many times. He can knock out Islam. Islam's been knocked out. Charles is an assassin on his feet. Nothing that I'm saying is taking credit away from Charles. I opened this up by saying he's the most talented fighter in this division. The only thing I'm saying is Islam's going to take him down and hold him down. That's what's going to happen. And the stats we talked about earlier, if you remember, we broke down Muhammad Mokaev. The dude averages 11-point-something takedowns per fight, which, wow, that's impressive. That's so many takedowns. Islam averages 3.4. You know why? Because he holds people down. They don't get back up.
Say it again, Angelo. He holds people down.
They don't get back up.
People down. This is I see this the same way as
69% of people is absurd.
And I like Charles. I will be rooting for Charles in this fight. So don't make it seem like I'm a Charles hater. I will. I am definitely rooting for Charles in this fight. I hope he gets it done. I hope he knocks him out. In the first. That would be crazy if he just came in and does what Charles does. But I think the safer play of the two, because Charles needs a little bit of a Hail Mary. He needs a little bit of a Hail Mary. Islam's going to stay safe. He knows the danger's on the feet. And on the ground, he definitely, for Charles to submit Islam off his back, like maybe he wins a scramble and he gets to a position right. But if you're going to submit Charles or Islam off your back, that is a absolute Hail Mary type situation. Not saying it can't happen. Hail Marys do happen, but you guys got to think a little bit more rationally than what you are.
These aren't rational thinkers. Jester literally struggles with comprehending complex thoughts, and he just doesn't understand my point over if as many people are betting on Charles as they say they are, that line would be movement. Yeah, money moves lines. In Jester's mind, the people betting Islam all have $10 million and the people betting Charles have 50 cents. That's how he's looking at this conceptually. It's stupid. Jester's, you're a simpleton. I'm sorry. Not everybody, the world needs janitors too, right? But not everybody's a genius. $5 super chat from Andres Oliveira.
Hey, Jester, I'm sorry about that, man.
Green and Hooker's last 2 wins for Islam on a week's notice. Thiago Moises took him into the 4th round before that and dropped him. How does Charles do worse? Listen, I hear you, and I retweeted the video of Thiago Moises taking Islam down, which was impressive, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you're going to talk about, Thiago Moises dropped Islam, blah, blah, blah. Charles Oliveira has been dropped. Do you need me to read those stats? How many times he's been dropped?
Yeah, you can't just start copy and pasting fights. You can't just say, well, this person did it, so this person. I mean, everything is different. Preparation is different. Everything is different.
And the point I'll 100% agree with is that Charles Oliveira has fought the higher level of competition for longer. That's not even debatable. I see you people arguing in the comment section, There's not an argument there. Islam has not fought anybody near the level of people that Charles Oliveira has fought.
He fought a guy on PEDs and handled them very quickly.
But the overall point, like Charles Oliveira has fought some incredible people and beaten some incredible people. Charles Oliveira also lost to Paul Felder. That's his last loss.
Whoa,
it was a few years ago.
whoa. I'm not going to stand for you use Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon's name, like, oh, you lost to Paul Felder. Paul Felder is a world-class fighter and would have became the champ.
Okay.
One day
if he didn't lose 5 more fights after this one.
Had he not lost as many fights as he did.
I bet. He lost to Ricardo Lamas. Anthony Pettis, quality loss. Max Holloway, quality loss. Frankie Edgar, quality loss. Cub Swanson, quality. Donald Cerrone, Nick Lentz, Jim Miller. Those are his losses. He has higher level of opponents in his losses than Islam does in his wins. I totally get it. But styles make fights. Islam's just going to take him down. Striking's not going to matter because Islam's going to take him down. And Islam's not going to get submitted. He's been rolling around the ground since he was 0 years old. He's not going to be submitted. So Charles is slick.
I didn't pick Dustin over Charles, by the way. I actually think I predicted the exact outcome of that fight. If you go back and watch.
Yeah. So anyway, overall point here, Charles Oliveira is absolutely amazing. And I believe the arguments saying that he's the GOAT over Khabib. I love those arguments. And those are valid arguments. They're all, I actually agree with it. He's done way more as champion than Khabib ever did. Ever. His road to the title was ridiculously harder. Charles Oliveira is the best 155-pounder for sure. Like, career-wise. Minute for minute, Islam's going to beat him, take the belt, and then Islam will then be the champion for a while. We both
until
agree.
Gamrot, until Gamrot, and then Gamrot smokes Islam. I mean, absolutely, just dominates Islam. It's going to be ugly. And then Demir's going to come along and smoke Gamrot, and Demir's going to be. I hope Demir does become the champion.
Well, anyway, $7,800.
Yeah, I'll be live Saturday. Sorry.
All of you people loving Charles Oliveira, $7,800. That's not, go for it. Solid price. $8,400 for Islam. When I do my DraftKings video, he's probably never been that affordable. $8,400.
I think
never been that affordable.
I think against Bobby Green, I think he cost $12,000. I think he cost. No, he's in my lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, we're brainwashed because we're picking the 2-1 favorite. Oh wait, sorry. Is that to us or is that to the people picking Charles Oliveira?
No, I think it's probably to us.
It probably is. We're picking the 2-1 favorite and we're brainwashed. Thank you for being so woke and really just going against the grain. You are awake and we are not. Thank you so much. Way to go,
Big Donnie.
You did it. You're the wokest of the woke. You're awake. We're brainwashed. All right. Anyway, guys, $8,400. Islam will definitely be in my lineup. Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 71-98. This is another one that I am not touching because I do think the over on rounds makes the most sense. It's only a 2.5 round line, which I'm surprised because Charles Oliveira is good enough on the ground to not be submitted.
Picking Islam. I just imagine him literally typing, literally going "durr" as he types it.
He said the issue isn't that you're picking Islam.
I know, but just seeing someone type out "durr," just "durr" as they're hitting their keyboard. Probably one at a time though. "Durr."
D-E-R-R, or the Cheeto fell and the R was just dragged on.
Double G.
Anyway, I'm not going to touch Monkey Knife Fight because, man, I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. I think Islam wins. I think he gets the takedown. I think he holds him down. But strike-wise, 98's a lot, especially considering the line's only 2.5. So I'm not going to touch that. But if you guys want to do all the things, go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They'll instantly match your deposit. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. You give them 20, they'll give you 20. Take the free money. Play some of those strike lines. If you lose, who cares? It was free money. And if you win, great. You have even more free money. You could withdraw your original. Now it's house money forever.
Donnie, only one of us has a meatball head here. He said Islam is not going to control him the way you guys are thinking in your meatball heads. There's only one meatball head here.
No, who? What? Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the watch. Become a premium member. It is $10 a month. And just genuinely, first of all, thank you to the 1,300 something members we have now.
It's a two-way road. It supports us, and we support you with just contributing 33 cents a day.
Okay. Anyway, thank you all for the existing premium members. And, genuinely, we take a lot of pride in that product. Every single month, we're letting you vote.
I know I give Angelo a hard time about it, but it literally is the best value out there. And if you're not signing up for it, I don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're looking for this and you guys are asking questions there, all your questions pretty much are going to be answered with this right here. Premium memberships.
Well, and frankly, if there's anything there that you want that you don't see, let us know. There's a vote in your account page on the next feature, and we literally just DraftKings Optimizer.
You guys can talk to us directly. Premium members can talk to us directly through the Discord, right? Through the lounge, the private lounge or whatever.
I believe so. I'll ask Josh how that's set up. Right. Anyway, become a premium member. Legit. It's $10 a month. It's worth it. That's 30. I guess it's 35 cents a day. I've been saying 33. Somebody corrected us. We appreciate you if you're already a member. If you're not, give it a try. If you don't like it, cancel. Who cares, right? But give it a try. It's only $10 to give it a go. If you want $50 for free, wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We will send you $50 as a thank you. What could you possibly want to say that you haven't said in the last 2 hours and 10 minutes?
Live stream tomorrow night. I will be live. I'll be going over betting. We'll talk about, we touched on bets here, but usually on those Wednesday live streams, we look at bets for every single fight. So join me there. It'll be just me, so it'll be a lot more fun. I know there wasn't a lot of fun tonight, so it will actually be fun. And if we have time, we'll open up some cards as well. Thursday, lock of the week video. Friday, actually we might do the betting video early, so look up for the betting video.
Friday we'll drop. Yeah, Friday we always drop all our stuff.
We do some other stuff on Friday. Saturday I will be live. I'm going to go live before the Bilal Sean Brady fight, and I will stay live for the entire main card. And we have a lot of fun. People will let you know in the chat. We have a lot of fun on those live streams. I'll be the main card UFC 280 Saturday.
All right, and the math continues. Zai Khan premium memberships 1.3 cents an hour, guys. You could make shoes for Nike in Indonesia and still afford premium membership. Thank you so much for the watch. We appreciate you. We'll see you the rest of the week for all the things.